the ropes.
Welcome back to Sweet Science Boxing and MMA here in Hawthorne, California. As always, I'm Chris, your boxing enthusiast, and we have a panel up here today. So let me work my way down. To my far left over here, we have Sunha Kim, who is a writer for
Inside the Ropes.
Inside the Ropes. Very good. Thanks for being with us today.
Well, thank you for having me.
Of course. And we have, to my immediate left, returning Anthony Stacks Saldana, lead writer for Supreme Boxing.
What's going on, guys?
How you doing, man?
I'm glad to be back.
It's been a while.
Yeah, just a little bit, man.
Yeah, you get my vote for guest of the year.
Guest of the year.
Guest of the year for sure.
And I get an Arrowhead bottle for my prize.
An Arrowhead
and a
bottle.
protein bar.
And a soft and chewy.
Do you want a shirt? I'll give you a shirt.
Oh, thank you, man. That would be nice.
You know, and it looks like it's gone down a few sizes too.
Yeah, just a few, man.
Good job. And then of course, the owner of this establishment, Sweet Science Boxing and MMA, creator, owner, Coach Marco Trejo.
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's happening?
Hello.
We got the crew up here today.
Are we live?
Are we live? We're live.
Yes.
For our last show of the year. Do you believe? We started this in February.
Yeah. Wow. Time flies.
I know. Time flies. This is our 42nd episode? I lost track. I think it's 42. 42. You guys are on the 42nd episode of Beat the Count, in case you're wondering. All right.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And 15,000 YouTube followers, man.
15,000 followers on YouTube.
Not too shabby there, brother.
I know. I just have to figure out how to beef up the Instagram now. I think I've got like 150.
Buy them like everybody else.
Is that how they do it? Nobody told me that. Nobody told me that.
Either that or you get chicks in bikinis over here.
That probably works too.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I vote for that.
You'll vote for that?
You just get them to stand right here and right over there, and they smile for the whole hour.
I think they frown upon buying them, so I think the bikinis may be the way to go.
Yeah, I think the bikinis.
I think for ours, it's ring girls, though. That's what it is.
Can we get the top rank girls?
It's called ring girls, yeah.
Top rank.
I once had an idea for a reality show called Ring Girls.
Oh, really?
You follow around the ring girls, you know what I mean?
Oh, wow.
Put them all in a mansion kind of thing, and
really?
You'd watch it, right?
Sure, why not?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Tell us more.
Okay. That was it. That was the whole idea.
Oh, really?
And then you woke up.
Yeah.
I don't have anything else. That was the whole thing. I'm pretty sure it would get views, though. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
What's up?
Yeah. What'd your wife say about that?
Do it. What's that? I didn't say I was going to be in the show or anything like that. I'm not. I'm like a, what do they call it? A producer.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, right. That's what you.
Yeah,
you get the producer credit.
I'll direct it.
I'm not in the.
But here's the thing about ring girls is they're very useful, especially when you're ringside.
Yeah.
I don't know if you notice the PVC cards in the beginning, they didn't have ring girls.
I actually didn't notice that.
And so the fight would happen, and you'd have to ask what round is it?
Nobody would know what round it was.
Nobody knew what round it was.
Marco and I talked about doing an all-women's card before
Okay.
that had buff dudes who did that stuff.
Oh,
That was your suggestion.
You know what I mean? You have the buff dude in the Speedo who does the... no, you're not into it?
I said we should have all female card, but I didn't say anything about buff dudes being ring card guys or whatever.
I guess I just made that part up.
Yeah.
Dude.
You have weird thoughts. Let's get on to something else.
Let's get on to something. Well, there wasn't a lot of boxing this weekend, but it is the year-end time.
That's
and
right.
Stax, you've got some subjects, too. You said that I saw you have an exclusive with Roy Jones Jr.
Yeah, I'll be
Roy Jones Jr.
Yeah, I'll be interviewing Roy Jones Jr. Later on this week. We're going to be talking about his new 3-year deal that he's just signed with the UFC Fight Pass. So he's going to bring 72 fight cards, which fans can watch exclusively on the UFC Pass, meaning that they're going to have to buy another streaming, network.
Okay.
On top of DAZN, on top of ESPN Plus. Now, if fans want to watch the Roy Jones cards, they'll have to purchase or subscribe to the UFC Fight Pass. So I'll be talking to Roy about that. That news broke just a few days ago. Then you had the fights out here last night. Yeah, the UFC fights out here last night. Roy was out here with Dana. So I know the first card is January 31st.
Okay.
At the Viejas Casino in San Diego. And I believe the Filipino fighter that fought Donnie Nietes is going to be headlining the card. Forget his name, but he's the one that's going to be headlining the card out there in the casino. So they got about another 30 days to get everything intact before boxing starts taking place on this UFC fight.
So when can we expect your exclusive interview to be published?
Hopefully by the end of the week. Hopefully by Friday.
By Friday this week, we'll see something?
By the end of the week.
I'm going to hold you to that.
Okay, man, you got it. If not sooner.
Come Friday morning, I'm going to
call me up.
I'm going to call you up and be like, what's up with that article?
Okay, man. So no pressure.
We can find that on Supreme Boxing?
On
Facebook?
Supreme Boxing, yeah. On Supreme Boxing Facebook. You can go to my personal Facebook page. But, yeah, Supreme Boxing on all the social media. Also, the supremeboxing.inc website. You can go to our website and catch it as well. We'll be tweeting it. So, yeah, we'll be having that exclusive with Roy. So, we'll see how it goes. I'm interested to see what he has to say about it because of the fact that Roy Jones really doesn't have a lot of signed fighters, So, I think it's going to be more of a chance to get some of these younger guys the opportunity to get noticed, So.
Have you met Roy before?
I've talked to him a couple of times.
Okay.
But never really sat down with him and had a good one-on-one conversation. So this will be my first time doing that.
And where are you going to get the opportunity to do that? Over the phone? Are you going to see him? Or?
You know what? That's still up in the air. Right now it is over the phone. I may be traveling to Vegas though. We'll see.
Cool. Traveling to Vegas. Is that where he lives now?
That's where he's working out of his Vegas.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, doesn't he?
I think he's from
stay in Pensacola.
Pensacola, yeah, Pensacola, Florida.
Always fighting in Pensacola. Although he retired this year. Didn't that happen? That happened this year, right?
Did he officially retire?
I think he officially retired. Wow. He had his last fight in Pensacola. He won too.
Good.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the announcing. I'm like HBO. HBO just they stopped showing boxing, so they let him go.
He retired from announcing, but he's still boxing.
That's harsh.
Yeah.
What's up? Devon's online. What's going on,
Devon?
How's it going?
Stax was just talking about how he's going to get the opportunity to interview Roy Jones Jr., the great Roy Jones Jr., who retired earlier this year in 2018. I don't remember what month it was, though. I should look it up. I have BoxRec up here.
He actually retired years ago, but...
Didn't he retired and then fought in Russia?
Yeah, he got a Russian passport.
Yeah, isn't he he has a passport?
Yeah, he's BFFs with Putin, right?
I don't know about all that. Him and Seagal, right? Him and Seagal are like that.
Okay.
Hey, no, I have no idea. I just made that up.
I'm very interested to know how long UFC has been talking with Roy Jones Promotions to actually do some, a merger on the fights. Or if they were speaking with other promoters. I'm sure they were speaking with other promoters. And also, how much influence from Oscar De La Hoya getting involved in MMA did that influence Dana White going with Roy Jones? Or if that made him more aggressive pursuing the boxing. Yeah,
you remember earlier this year, Dana White had talked about Zuffa getting into the boxing game. And he continues to double down on the fact that UFC is in more ways going to be involved in boxing. And a lot of that conversation died down after he wasn't able to sign Mikey, right? So he was looking to sign Mikey, and then the conversation died down.
But with these streaming networks, it's more than just boxing. You go to ESPN Plus, you have soccer games, you have college basketball, college football games, you have all these other programs, you have documentaries, you have the best of boxing, you have boxing archives. So there's more to it. Even with DAZN, you have the Combates America, you have the Bellator, you have soccer games, and now they just signed a 3-year deal with Major League Baseball, a $300 million deal with Major League Baseball. So they'll be exclusively streaming baseball games as well. So, they have to open it up to a bigger market. And I'm thinking, that's what the UFC Fight Pass has to do. Besides, trying to get more subscribers, they have to cross that line and venture off into other sports, boxing being the first one.
Well, it also sort of seems like it's a survival tactic, right? Because boxing beats UFC every single time on TV.
Pretty much. And I think maybe ESPN kind of influenced them as well. UFC has that new deal with ESPN.
Yeah.
So I'm sure UFC and ESPN had a lot to do with telling those guys, hey, you need to get your numbers up if you're going to also be streaming this, or you can come and join ESPN Plus. So
sure. Dana's not stupid, but he's never going to work with Oscar, right? He's never going to work with Bob Arum.
Yeah, and Bob Arum pretty much controls the combat sports side of ESPN Plus right now. So
I wouldn't say he controls it, but he is predominantly what's featured on there, meaning ESPN can go make a deal with whoever they want to make.
Yeah, but right now, as far as the network is concerned, as far as the ESPN Plus is concerned, it's being ran by Top Rank, you know. So.
Sure.
But do you like how Golden Boy signed a contract with ESPN?
Yeah.
And then 1 week later, Bob Arum signs a more lucrative deal with ESPN.
Yeah, and you know, that was a tough deal for Golden Boy because they just don't have that many fighters. You know, they had to work with Coda Promotions and a few other promotional companies back east to even survive when they signed that first deal, because they have maybe 35 fighters signed, and most of them are young guys. You know, so it's a lot of fantasy springs. They even had an ESPN card from the Belasco Theater. You know, so
Yeah.
I knew it was going to be tough. They had a lot in Puerto Rico. They had a lot in Arizona, a lot out at Fantasy Springs in Indio, some back east in New York and Verona Casino, a few in Washington, a few in Philadelphia, where Bernard Hopkins has his foot in the door out there, and it's just like...
But that's why they spend time on Facebook Watch, right? Basically, they're trying to bring visibility to the stable of fighters that they do have.
Yeah.
So they have a lot of young people, perhaps some talented people. By putting it on Facebook Watch and doing these Indio cards that are maybe 6 and 7 fights, you get to showcase your young fighters and hopefully build on that and capitalize on some of the social media presence that guys like, you know, Ryan have and those guys.
Yeah, and that's the way to go, right? Like, the future is the internet.
Yeah, and now with the streaming service, now with, you know, not just Canelo, but it just seems like Golden Boy actually signing over with DAZN.
Yeah.
They have a lot of their fighters on some of these DAZN cards as well, you know. And so you get a mix of fights there now with DAZN. You had even Tevin Farmer on the Canelo card.
Yeah.
You know, that's something you wouldn't see before. So now you're gonna get an opportunity to see some of these European fighters probably on some of these Golden Boy fighters, you know. So I think that's gonna help Oscar cross promotional lines when it comes to matchmaking, you know, having his matchmakers, giving them a bigger window to and a bigger opportunity for his fighters to fight other talent that's out there besides what's in their stable.
Yeah. Tevin Farmer, does that guy have the story of the year or what?
Right?
That's all. Well, I guess you could argue that
He
Tyson
gets
Fury has
shot
a
in the
pretty good story,
hand
too.
and comes back in the hand of all places.
Yeah. Have you heard Tevin Farmer's story, his backstory before?
No, not
He
really.
like started with a bunch of losses on his record.
Yeah, I know that part.
Yeah, and then like then had 17 consecutive victories before he was like shot in the hand at a birthday party or something like that. And then
when did that happen? This year? Last year?
It wasn't this
Last
year.
couple of years?
Yeah.
It was last year.
Wow.
Yeah,
The
like
end of the
last
year?
I think sometime. And he was shot in the hand and then had to go through physical therapy and all that stuff. And then
Jeez.
finally was able to pick up a belt this year. Tremendous story.
That's
But
amazing
I guess
that he can actually still punch, you know.
Exactly,
I wonder
right?
if that hurts. I mean,
You know, it's
Or how
just
they
a
got
bullet. You know, it just goes right.
Yeah, is
yeah.
that all?
Just a bullet.
Just a bullet. You've caught a few of those in your time, I'm sure.
I mean, it must have not taken some bone out or something, you know. It just maybe just caught a bunch
no
of
idea.
flesh, but still, nobody wants to get shot in the hand. If
Basically
you're
a
a boxer.
broken hand. That's it.
Yeah.
Between that and Tyson Fury, one of those guys has to win the story of the year.
Yeah, Tyson
for sure.
Fury. What a story, man.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, no,
Another one, right?
Seriously, yeah. It's you know, I've done some writing on you know, mental health in the boxing game, and for one, you know, when you start fighting, you know, when you come up as a boxer, to me, there's something not right with you as it is. To want to get in that ring and to get hit,
That's true.
you know, when there's other sports out there, to want to get in there and to like to get hit and to want to get hit and have that hunger to get in the ring and actually fight, there's something not right up there, you know, to begin with. You know, you have that mentality, and when I say there's something not right, I'm not saying they're slow or they're autistic or there's something wrong with them mentally, but there's something in that brain that's triggering them to want to be in that type of sport. You know what I mean? It takes a certain person to get in that ring. Not just anybody's going to step into the ring to want to fight, to want to get hit. Then after they do begin to get hit, you know, you get the onslaughts of dementia and these other things. And, you know, for some of these fighters like De La Hoya, Ricky Hatton, Tyson Fury that have been at the top of the game, they've been world champions, you know, you get this sense of high, this emotion of walking into the ring in front of thousands of people, in front of millions of people watching you worldwide, and you have that high of, you know, just, you know, knowing that you're there. And then when it's all gone, you know, you have to do something to continue that high. And a lot of them turn to drugs, a lot of them turn to alcohol to continue to have that, to want to have that feeling, you know.
Spatulas.
Whoa.
Don't mention that.
Yeah. But
Do you know about that?
No, I don't know anything.
Okay, let's move on.
Spatulas.
We'll move on.
Yeah, so okay. But yeah, I mean it happens, but for him to come back and just say, hey man, I've had all the money in the world, I've had everything, and I just wasn't happy, to actually come out and Tyson Fury, we're talking about, and talk about his mental health and the issues he's had and how boxing has turned around his life. It's quite a story, man.
Well, don't you feel like in boxing, mental health is almost completely ignored? I think up until recently, because of the nature of the sport. In football, you got so much attention in the last few years, but just because boxing is a gladiator sport, you're gonna get hit in the head regardless. It feels like it's just something that people kind of gloss over and just say, well,
it is
it's
because
boxing.
In boxing, you get cut, you get an automatic 45-day suspension. You see the cuts, you see the broken hands, you see the outside, the physical elements on the outside when something happens, when the injuries occur, and you see the outside injuries, and that's what the state athletic commissions look for. But a lot of times they don't take that extra step to check the cognitive balance of these people after getting hit, after getting knocked out, and I think they need to look more into into the CTEs, into the brain injuries of boxers. And there has to be some type of uniformity across the United States as far as the medical records go. If you're not cleared in Vegas, you shouldn't be cleared in California, you shouldn't be cleared in Nevada, you shouldn't be cleared in Ohio, Indiana, and another state. It should be a universal medical guideline where, hey, if he didn't get cleared in California because he got knocked out, they shouldn't allow him to fight in Iowa and then end up in a coma,
Well, so what was the deal with Edwin Valera? Remember Edwin?
Yeah.
He had some brain injury, and they wouldn't let him fight in the U.S. I mean, turned out rightfully so, right?
Yeah, and then he whacked out and whacked his wife.
Yeah, it was not right up there.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, there's more to it. I don't have the answers, and I don't claim to have the answers to everything, but there's got to be more that these sanctioning bodies, the WBA, the WBC, the WBO do. They have the ABC rules of boxing across the country. They need to have those same standards when it comes to the medicals. They shouldn't allow it to the commission. The sanctioning body should step in and say, hey, man, we know you got knocked out over there. We got cut last time. You had 20 stitches across your eye. Now you're fighting in Iowa and not sanction the fight.
Well, I know that the California Athletic Commission has a boxer safety rating, depending on what their record is. But I'm not sure how that translates to their mental state and how much they take that into account for that boxer rating. It's more based on the record and not so much on a physical or any kind of mental evaluation done by a doctor. So,
yeah,
I mean, it's a big piece, I think, that's missing in boxing overall to take care of the fighters.
I do know that the WBC has worked with UCLA, and they continue to work with UCLA as far as brain damage goes with boxers. They've done so much stuff over the years, from putting the fourth rope into the ring, to cutting the rounds from 15 down to 12 in championship fights after Kim got killed by Boom Boom Mancini. They've went from the same day weigh-ins to letting fighters weigh in the day before. I know they're working with the state athletic commissions as far as I know right now it's with MMA fighters, that if they weigh more, if they're walking around more than 10 pounds above their regular weight or their fight weight, then they're not going to be able to fight at that weight anymore. They're trying to make it safer for them, because what happens is when you start losing fluid, it damages the brain. You need that extra fluid. So when you're getting dehydrated, when you're passing out, like some of these fighters, recently Diego De La Hoya, David Lemieux, they're ending up in hospitals. They're draining themselves to fight, and you're not gonna heal overnight. These are fighters that we see, that we know what's happening to, but how many fighters are going back, making the weight, but actually having these same symptoms, and then passing out in the rooms, and then their coach is hooking up IVs to them and whatnot, trying to get them ready. They're not gonna be ready the next day, and that's when these accidents occur. It's some of them.
Yeah, I will say some of those though are physiological things, right? So the WBC or any sanctioning body enforcing, for instance, brain scans or things like that in preparation for fights. Those are all things that help with the physical aspect of it, and I still don't know that would do anything for the part that you're talking about, Coach, which is
the mental,
sort of the psychological evaluation of what they're doing. So they can enforce more scans, they can enforce more medicals, but I think it's a different topic to say they actually need to be evaluating things psychologically as well.
Yeah,
exactly.
they should definitely have kind of a separate criteria and a separate, I don't know. I mean, they do a physical to make sure you're physically able to step in the ring, but, you know, you got to check these guys' mental health too. It can deteriorate fast in boxing, so and these guys have short careers and they don't really make a lot of money. Very few, the small percentage, make a lot of money, but it's those guys that you see with those crazy records, you know, that get ignored a lot too. You know, the guys that are like 10 and 100 or like, you know, 5 and 20 or 5 or like 10 and 35.
There was a guy fighting the other day that fought Fury's brother.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
He had 10 wins and 115 losses, 105 losses. It was his 116th fight. He had 10 wins and 105 losses. And somebody, you know, I made a comment about it somewhere, and somebody says, oh, well, look at the knockouts. He's only been knocked out 15 times, so that's a pretty damn good ratio. No, that means he's got his ass kicked a lot, man. Just because he didn't get knocked out doesn't mean he wasn't getting beat up in that damn ring.
His brain's got to be mush by now.
Right?
You know?
So there's a challenge with doing these award-type shows, which is that a lot of the times, a lot of us will have the same opinion of who the fighter of the year is or who the fight of the year is and stuff like that. And so I made an effort to really pick people who I thought would be different, not necessarily because I don't believe that Usyk should be fighter of the year, but because it's boring if we all pick the same person. So I actually was going to pick that guy, just so you know.
Okay. No.
Oh, the fighter.
The guy with the record?
I think this is going to be very colorful,
look
actually.
At that dude. That dude fought 12 times in this year.
Okay.
So he fought 12 times this year. And this year, he surpassed the great Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. in terms of total professional fights.
Wow.
Because
it's like his records.
I'm sorry, the great Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Senior. In terms of the number of professional contests, I believe he's 37 years old.
Wow.
And has fought 12 times this year.
Well, that makes him a winner. In some respect.
So I was looking at it, and I was like, who am I going to pick for fighter of the year? And I looked up the definition of a fighter. It's someone who essentially competes by fighting, right? And nobody does it more than does the man that they call Lucky. I don't want to. Okay. I don't want to try and pronounce his name, unfortunately, because
he's lucky because he's still alive.
Yeah, I'm going. Here's my pick: fighter of the year. This dude. There he is there.
How is that
10,
even possible,
103,
man?
and
where
3.
is this guy from? Latvia. Okay.
Latvia.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Here he is, fighter of the year.
Yevgeny.
Yeah, a total record of 10 wins, 4 knockouts, by the way. 103 losses, 13 KOs, 3 draws. 12 of those fights took place this year, surpassing the great Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. in total professional contests at the age of 37 years old. The ripe age of 37 years old. 12 fights this year. You show me someone else who did that.
You know what's important?
Get it, Usyk. Get it, Usyk.
As far as his fights, what's important about that is if he's fighting mostly debut guys and like 4-rounders, then he's probably not taking that much damage.
I don't know. Let's have a look.
Let's go back. Here,
I'm guessing that almost all of his fights are 4-rounders. There's no reason for him to go past that.
I don't know, man. It's Latvia.
There you go. We've got they were all losses this year, unfortunately. But
when's the last time he actually won? What year is the last time he actually won?
He got a draw.
He had a draw in 2017, and he had a win by TKO in 2015 was his last victory.
Wow.
Dude, I hope the guy that
What's up, Wheelman?
I hope the guy that lost to him retired like immediately after that. He's like, I lost to this guy. I'm not.
We're just going through my pick for fighter of the year. Here he is. Andreevs? That's what I'm going with. I'm going with Andreevs. That's how you say it.
You should mail him a shirt, bro.
Yeah.
You should mail him a Beat the Count
I'll
shirt.
happily mail him a shirt. This man is a fighter by definition.
There you go, man. You're fighting.
Let's see another 37-year-old man fight 12 times in a year, you know?
In the pros, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the pros. That's what I'm talking about. In the pros. How many times did Usyk fight this year?
What? You tell me twice? 3 times?
No, it's not 12 times.
It wasn't 12. Exactly.
So beat that, guys.
So are we picking right now?
Go for it.
So fighter of the year.
Pick your fighter of the year.
Who do you got, Marco?
I have two choices. I know that's kind of dumb, but I'm picking Lomachenko.
Okay.
And based off his last fight, I can't remember who else he fought earlier this year. And then
Linares.
There you go. That's why. Yeah. I mean, and just because he's been so dominant in those victories, and also Canelo because of the big contract he signed, and then the clear-cut victory over Golovkin.
Give it to him because of the contract.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, these guys are prize fighters. You know, they want to make the most money, so I think that was it was historic for Golden Boy, for Canelo, for DAZN, and just boxing in general. And then him moving up in weight, even though, you know, I probably could have beat Rocky Fielding, but no, I'm just kidding. I probably could have hit him at least once or twice.
Probably could have beat Rocky Fielding.
This guy.
But
where's Rocky at?
But still, I mean, as far as moving up in weight, that's a little bit of a statement, you know. And I'm hoping he stays there going into next year and fight somebody like Zurdo or a couple of the other guys. But I think he's gonna fight what's his face,
Colin Smith.
Next.
Oh, Jacobs.
Yeah, I'd like to see that fight. But I say you know, Canelo and Lomachenko. Even with
big
stars.
Even with the whole Cambludiol incident that he had, man.
Well, I think
Mexican meat incident, man.
Yeah,
you're still giving him the fighter of the year because of that, bro?
Yeah, I think he came through on the Triple G fight. I mean, he's still a big draw for boxing. So yeah, I think he lived up to the hype. Hey, John Jones fought last night on UFC. He got busted for PEDs. So
see, here's the thing, Coach.
Winners win. They do what they got to do.
What?
Winners win.
You know, if I picked a real pick, I might be critical of this. But given the guy that I picked for fighter of the year, I don't think I can say anything. You go ahead.
The thing is,
go ahead.
Give us your thoughts, man.
I mean,
and be blunt, man. Come on.
Well, here's the deal: is
tear it down.
Talking to the mic.
I agree with Coach. I think Canelo's fight of the year.
Nice.
Oh, and here's the deal. Here's the deal.
Whoa.
Here's the deal.
Oh my
For those,
God.
Anthony knows me.
He hates Canelo, man.
I'm not a Canelo fan.
Nice.
But it's a question of dollars and cents. And the
There
guy
you go.
signed a $365 million deal. He's an unstoppable force now. Who's going to beat him? This is Canelo's time for the next 5 years. He's you know, we are in the age of Canelo. And this is just a start. And
Nice.
mind you, I thought Canelo lost to Cotto. And I thought he lost to Triple G twice, but none of that matters.
He definitely did not lose to Cotto.
I don't think he lost. He beat the living crap out of him.
He beat the bejesus out of Cotto. I mean, he didn't win as many rounds as they gave him, perhaps. But I understand the Triple G being controversial.
No, I think he beat Cotto. And it's true. It's true. Canelo landed the better punches, right? But if you beat the shit out of somebody for 3 rounds, but lose 9, you still lose the fight.
That's true.
It's just the way the scoring system goes, right?
I'm going to watch the fight later.
We've been through this a number of times.
Yeah.
We're on different sides of the fence on that fight, Coach and I.
What, the Cotto fight?
No, not the Cotto fight.
The Triple G fight?
The Triple G fights, yeah. The Triple G. Well, not the first one. We agree on the first one.
Yeah, first one.
Yeah, we agree.
It should be 1-1, really.
Yeah.
You know, there was no draws in the fight, I don't think.
No draws.
I'm not in the first or second.
Odd Wheel Man says they're all juicing. They just haven't gotten caught.
I agree.
That's what what's her name said. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, remember earlier this year?
Mia.
Yeah, Mia St. John said they're all on steroids. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, you didn't hear that?
Oh, I think you mentioned it.
It was a big thing. Yeah, Mia St. John said everyone's on steroids, and then like a bunch of people on Twitter attacked her, like Tony Bellew and those guys who said, "Hey, speak for yourself. Some of us use hard work
and steroids."
There you go.
Oh man,
Nah.
Dude, wasn't what's that guy? The other the other gypsy who got busted.
Oh, Saunders.
Billy Joe
Yeah,
Saunders.
wasn't he talking
gypsy?
Billy Joe Saunders.
Wasn't he talking shit about Canelo juicing, and then he gets busted like a month later?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, so I mean,
Billy Joe, he made a comeback fight like 2 weeks ago, I guess, on a untelevised DAZN undercard. Or
yeah,
something
they didn't even.
Yeah, they didn't even mention
nothing.
It. Yeah,
it wasn't even on the stream, man.
So who's,
it wasn't on the stream. Yeah, that's right.
Who's Stack's pick for Fighter of the Year?
Yeah, we missed Stacks. You got to go now.
Man, look, I'm going against the grain here, man. I'm going with the local fighter.
I went against the grain for sure.
Yeah, I know you did. Yeah, yours is way against the grain, man. No, I'm going with the fighter that hasn't fought here in Southern California since 2016, man. I'm going with Danny Roman.
Danny Roman,
nice.
okay.
Yeah, and
That's
three title defenses, right?
Yeah, so it started off, man, back in 17, man. He beat Adam Lopez, went to Atlantic City. Adam Lopez was undefeated at the time, was supposed to lose on the Showbox card. Beat Adam Lopez. Then he went to Japan and won the title. So then this year in February, he went back to Japan to defend his title. Got a defense against Masumoto. Then went to Texas to fight Moses Flores, who was an undefeated PBC prospect. Beat the hell out of Moses Flores, and then went to Chicago. Signed with DAZN. Actually signed with DAZN, so he's cross-promoted by Thompson Boxing and DAZN. And beat Gavin McDonald. Defended his title against Gavin McDonald. So I'm going with Danny Roman for Fighter of the Year.
He schooled Gavin McDonald, too.
Yeah,
he did.
Yeah.
That was an awesome fight.
It was a great fight, man.
Yeah, it was a great fight
Yeah,
for him.
that's my pick, man, for Fighter of the Year.
Yeah, it's not easy to go to Japan and win either.
No.
Yeah.
No. So he didn't leave it in the hands of the judges. Both fights, he knocked out the champion, and then in his defense, got another knockout win. So
That's what you got to do.
Yeah.
you got to do
Ian
that,
G
man.
joined us. Ian G said that Bellew did a 180 when his buddy Saunders got caught. That's probably true, actually. That's true, because he was very critical of Mia St. John, and then when Billy Joe got caught, he was kind of, I don't know, he was supportive.
Yeah.
And then Orlando Carr jumped on and said, "Word up, Stacks."
What's
on,
up,
guys?
Orlando
What's up?
Carr?
Word up.
All right.
I need some cigars, Orlando. You need to hook me up, brother. And I'm in LA right now, so I can pick them up this evening.
Yeah, I think that's like the Instagram profile, right? I've in what does it say? Cigars, boxing, and there's one more thing on there. What is it, Orlando? There was one more thing besides cigars and boxing, I thought.
Probably bitches. I'm just saying.
That's what Stacks.
Bleep that out.
Roman did have a great year. So Steven jumped on. He said Danny had a great year. I agree. Danny's year was great, and that performance against Gavin McDonald was a stellar performance. That was a.
Well, I think with those kinds of victories,
let's do it. Orlando said, "Let's do it."
with those type of victories, I think Danny's primed to get some real big fights for next year.
Whiskey. I should have known.
Whiskey. Yeah.
Hey, but wasn't he supposed to fight Dogbe too?
Dogbo. Yeah.
Well, but at this point,
Dogbo got the living shit beat out of him.
Yeah.
I mean, he got beat.
That's my
upset
upset of the year right there.
In fact, I think that is actually a really big upset, and I think that Danny is primed to take that title too, because that dude I think him and Danny, he's right in that wheelhouse. He's a tall dude. He's like the kind of guy that Danny prepares for. You know what I mean? So I think that would be great if they could unify.
Yeah, if they can unify there. Also, I think another guy Danny has to watch out for is a guy that also tested positive, was suspended. Was Luis Neri. He was suspended by the WBC. Ended up having to go to some type of rehab. Had a few fights out of Mexico, and they've just named him the interim champion for the WBC. I know the actual champion is Ray Vargas.
Yeah, Ray Vargas
at 122. I don't know how much longer he's going to stick around 22. But there's some fights out there for Danny still. There's some big fights, but yeah, he can unify. I mean, there's a chance for Danny to be unifying this title pretty soon. So,
nice.
Good luck to him.
Orlando agrees with you, Coach. He said that was upset of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was an awesome fight.
That was a big upset. It was a big upset.
What
the Dogbo
about Jaime Munguia, Saddam Ali?
That ain't an upset, man.
Yeah. That's cool.
In retrospect,
That's a massacre. That's a
In
mismatch.
retrospect.
That's a mismatch. Huge
I think
mismatch.
you would say that at the time, yeah. I can see how you would, looking at that fight for the first time, saying Jaime Munguia is inexperienced.
This kid from
Salman
TJ.
Ali has just come off of beating Miguel Cotto. So I could see at the time you would think that. Yeah. Now in retrospect,
overnight superstar.
Yeah. Like when you look at all the fights he's had since then, you look at it and go, oh, well, of course he beat Saddam Ali. And I think it's almost too bad that they didn't let him go in against Triple G, because that would have been interesting. So remember, he wanted to step in when Vanas stepped in after Canelo had tested positive. It was Munguia who originally they wanted, but he had never competed at 160.
So that brings up the next one.
That'd be a test of the chins right there.
Who's like the breakout star / prospect of the year? I mean, he's not really a prospect, but I mean, he's not really.
Yeah, how do we define prospect?
I was going to say
right?
he's a
world
champion.
champion.
He's a
He's not a
champion, so I
prospect
think
anymore. He's a
it
world
doesn't
champion.
count. Yeah. I think it doesn't count. Nope, you're gonna have to hold it, Stacks. I saw you break it. You have to hold it. Just rest. Just let it rest.
It's gonna stay right here.
That's good. That's good.
You guys rigged up one and broke the other one, man. Damn it.
So then who's like the breakout star this year?
I think Stacks and I have the same guy. So
Teofimo?
yeah, I picked Teofimo Lopez.
Yeah, Teofimo Lopez, man. That's who we got.
Dude.
That guy's something else, man. He's knocking everybody out and doing the Fortnite dance at the same time, man.
He's like jumping across the ring and knocking you out. It's crazy.
Backflipping and hitting you with the left hook and putting your ass to sleep, man.
Yeah, Teofimo, he's so entertaining. He has it. He's got the package. You know what I mean? He's an athletic dude, super athletic man. He's totally entertaining to watch. He's still, I think, prospect status. You know what I mean? He's not a world champion. He's had a few fights on TV. He's got all that kind of stuff going on. He's explosive. You see the knockouts and stuff like that, and then he's entertaining. Yeah. When you talk to him, he's entertaining. When you watch him after the race, he's entertaining.
Kid, charismatic, right?
Yeah, super charismatic. The dude has everything he needs, I think, to be a star. For me, he's the breakout of the year.
You know, and what's funny about Teofimo too, you know, you're saying charismatic and whatnot. In the ring, it's a whole different persona than outside of the ring, and you know that, man. You met him at the.
He's a good kid.
Yeah, I met him. Super cool dude.
You met him out there in Vegas, and he sat there. He talked to the fans. He took pictures. You know, he didn't portray himself as, you know, like he was better than anybody else, man. He just a good all around guy, man.
He was there all day too.
Yeah, all day. And you put him in that ring, and it's a whole different ball game.
For sure, yeah, he was there all day. What do you guys think? Are you guys on? Are you with Teofimo?
Well,
he likes Ryan Garcia.
Well,
same weight class. That's hard.
I mean, let's see that fight.
Yeah, that will never.
Ryan doesn't want to see that fight.
Yeah, right. He'll just shit talk Gervonta all day long.
Let's put that on DAZN.
No, let's make things interesting here. I want to bring the next Triple G.
Oh, okay. Who's that?
He goes by the moniker 777.
777?
Yep. His name is Baturjan Jukembayev.
Baturjan Jukembayev.
3-0 this year, 3 knockouts. His opponents went 56-18 and 2 in their career.
Okay. So serious opponents.
Serious opponents, 27 years old. He's in the David Lemieux stable up in Montreal. But, I mean, you look at him on film, he's pretty much a southpaw Triple G. Just tears opponents apart.
I can honestly say I haven't seen him compete, but it sounds interesting.
Oh, he's good.
Yeah, I would like to see it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's sort of the Triple G syndrome, right, where sort of with the minor promoter, right? But, man, they really know how to fight in Kazakhstan, and, you know, he might end up fighting Teo one day.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. Teofimo, but I don't think Ryan wants to see it. We're not picking that. Nobody's. Are you picking Ryan?
He doesn't want to fight anybody. He's just gonna get handpicked for a long time. Plus, you know, Stacks, you know, he brought up the point that Golden Boy doesn't have a lot of fighters. I think they're putting maybe not all their eggs in Ryan's basket, but maybe a lot of them. And I really don't, we'll see. I don't know if the kid's gonna hold up against when he faces people like Teofimo or
he made the right move, right, to move in under Canelo's
he
wing
had
there.
to, though. He had to. He wasn't
improving. Well, sure, yeah, he has to.
You know, he had to. He was he was very one-dimensional, you know, and even and what's his name, Carlos Morales, kind of exposed him a little bit. You know?
Definitely.
And that other guy Velez too.
Jason Velez, yeah. You know, I think they did the right thing with moving with Eddie Reynoso. You know, and they kind of slowed him down this last fight. The guy that he fought, I guess, is the last person he had a victory against had like 4 wins and 39 losses.
Oh, wow.
Right? But they need to break him down and bring him back up. I think they needed to humble Ryan a little bit, him off of social media a little bit. And, you know, some of these mitt, you know, this mitt work that he does and some of this stuff, all that stuff doesn't need to be on social media.
A lot of it's pointless, too.
Yeah, exactly. It's pointless just to get followers. And hopefully he gets the mindset and he's with this camp not for followers. Well, Canelo has 1 million followers and now he's going to help me. Hopefully he stays off his phone. He needs actually to have somebody running his social media for him. Somebody with that many followers, you need to kind of humble him and bring him down because you're going to get hate either way. Once you get to that level where people start knowing who you are and you become a household name in boxing, you're gonna catch hate.
Well, he's in the big leagues now. He can't be on his phone all day long. He's got responsibility to his contract and to his handlers and all that. I mean, he's got so much money in front of him, and if he wastes that opportunity, you know, that's gonna be a sad story a few years from now if he wastes that opportunity.
He can't be hanging around the Jonas Brothers and stuff, man. He's got to keep his ass in the gym and
absolutely
develop his craft, man. What got him here?
He's like the fourth Jonas brother, isn't he?
Probably, man. Yeah, but no, you know, and I think Roger. You know, I know Roger. I know his manager. So hopefully, you know, they'll get him on the right path. You know.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter what anybody tells him. I don't care if it's his parents. I don't care if it's his manager. I don't care if it's De La Hoya himself. Unless he wants to change and he wants to take that extra, you know, that extra step to get to that next level, he's the only person that can do that.
Yeah.
Nobody can force it upon him.
So the question, Steven came in and said, do we think that Ryan will improve under Eddie Reynoso? Generally, I think across the board, we're going to say yes.
He has to, right?
Yeah. He's going to improve under Eddie Reynoso. And I don't know if that means that he'll transform into, you know, the next Canelo Alvarez, but he will improve. And I think it's evident most. You remember when they released the initial training videos, and you and I kind of picked apart those training videos and said, some of the things that Ryan's doing, it looks like he's never done them before.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that just goes to show you right there that Eddie Reynoso is actually making him do things that he wasn't comfortable doing and still kind of looked robotic in his movements and things like that. So by looking at those early on, I could tell you that he's definitely learning more.
Well, I think
Eddie Reynoso.
He's actually learning how to box. You know, he's finally learning how to box, and it's kind of a case where, you know, Roy Jones was really fast, one of the fastest boxers ever. And I'm not comparing Ryan to Roy, but
yeah, please don't.
Yeah, no. But Ryan's got a lot of speed, and you know, I've watched him in the amateurs, and he relies on that speed. But at some point, your boxing IQ has to take over, and I think he kind of plateaued with his speed in the professional ranks. So
yeah,
but definitely he'll see some improvement, I believe.
Yeah. Well, I think we're quick to figure out Ryan's still really young.
Yeah, he is very
absolutely.
young.
He's very young. He's very raw, and you know, he's just got a bunch of followers. But, you know, at the end of the day, you know, it's going to work out. I think it's going to work out.
I think he's got
it has to work out.
He has the physical ability to, I mean, he can punch for power. He can punch for speed. If he gets footwork and head movement going, that's equal to his speed and power, then you got a good boxer.
Yeah, and Golden Boy, they know what they're doing. They're going to nurture him.
They do know what they're doing, but here's the thing with Ryan. What is he, 19? So he's growing. He's not going to continue to make 130 pounds, and 135 is a stacked division. You're going to have Gervonta Davis moving up to 35 soon. There's no way Davis is going to continue to make 30. You have Teofimo. You have Gabriel Flores. You have Shakur Stevenson. You have a handful of prospects, not including everybody else that's up there, Lomachenko, Linares, and some of the big names, you know. I mean, so it's either – it's sink or swim the next few years for Ryan.
But Ryan's a future middleweight, right? Like 27-year-old Ryan, like 8 years from now.
I can't see. Well, he's got the height, but I can't see him being that heavy.
Maybe 7 or 8 years from now.
I don't know. Who knows, right?
In De La Hoya's shoes, you know, they move him along. I don't know, man, but it's going to be tough. I tell you that. He's got his work cut out for him, Mr. Garcia does.
Yeah, and I think Orlando jumped on. He said something that supports what you were saying, Coach, which is that it's expectations, right? It's how he's being brought and presented to the world.
Yeah, he has high expectations.
If he's being presented as a superstar or the next big thing in boxing, then he has to show that in his performances. Yeah. And he got to a point where he had 2 performances sort of consecutively where he kind of showed that he was not the next big star.
Yeah,
until this DAZN card when he came out and did something, you know, spectacular. I credit that obviously to Ryan and to Eddie Reynoso, but also to their selection of the opponent that they chose.
Yeah.
In the same way that I think, sure, Canelo's performance over on the same card was dominant against Rocky Fielding, but some of that's also just Rocky Fielding is not at the same level. It's the opponent selection. So some of it is Canelo, of course, but some of it is that wasn't the best opponent that could be available to him.
Well, credit Golden Boy for that, too.
Sure.
Right?
Exactly.
Sure.
But you know what, man? I mean, just because of Canelo's name, he caught a lot of shit. Canelo went up. He took that title, you know, from Fielding. But that's the same damn thing that Mikey Garcia did when he went up and fought Lipinets to get that other title.
That's what I said.
Man, that's the same thing Garcia did.
That's what I said.
That doesn't mean Garcia is any less of a fighter than what he, you know, that he's ranked at as a pound for pound fighter in the world. But it's another title. It's the same thing Garcia did. Is all I'm saying.
The problem is it's just a straight legacy move,
Exactly.
and that's what I mean by that is, you know, Mikey Garcia was pursuing being a 4-time or a 4-weight division world champion. It didn't matter who he won those titles off of. He won one off Sergey Lipinets, who had like 13 fights. Then he went up again and won another one. I think Errol Spence is obviously a very serious move for Mikey. But the titles before that, he didn't win those belts off of Linares. He didn't win them off of Lomachenko. He didn't win them off of the other name fighters in the division. Those are titles he won. Like the Lipinets title was vacated by Bud Crawford. Lipinets didn't even actually beat the champion, right?
Vacated.
Like it was a vacant title.
Yeah, Crawford moved up.
So he vacated it, and then Mikey went in there and kind of scooped it up so that he could say, "Hey, I'm a 4-weight division world champion."
Let's move on, man. Let's go on to the next.
Yeah,
what's your next category, man?
Okay, we did prospect and we did
fighter. We did fighter of the year and we did prospect of the year.
Let's do trainer of the year.
Okay.
I nominate or I pick myself as trainer. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. No.
I'll second that.
Thanks. No. Lomachenko's dad.
Yeah, it's Anatoly Lomachenko, right? Can anyone say otherwise?
All his fighters are they're all world champions, you know, and not just world champions, but dominant, crushing world champions, you know.
Even the fighters like homeboy who beat Adonis Stevenson, who was initially trained by Anatoly Lomachenko, right? And then changed to Teddy Atlas. So you look at it, it
needs to go back.
Between Usyk, Lomachenko, and I don't know how you give it to somebody else.
Yeah, is this across the board, or what are we doing here?
Yeah, what do you got? Who do you got as trainer of the year?
No, congratulations, Loma's dad.
Yeah, it has to be, right? It's unanimous, right?
Yeah.
Okay, everyone thought it was. I couldn't find a clever way to get out of saying Anatoly Lomachenko for
it is.
Trainer of the year. So that's good. So we got prospect, we got fighter. Do we want to do a fight?
Fight of the year.
Fight of the year.
Fight of the year.
There was some good ones this year.
Lomachenko Linares for me.
That's a great fight. That is a great fight. I agree. I'm not that's not my pick, but I do think that is a remarkable fight.
It's just a beautiful fight, right?
Yeah, it was a great fight. What do you I'll go last on this one.
Oh, man, tough. There was some really good fights. Really good fights. I don't know, man.
Coach, you got one?
Go, Coach. You go on. I'll tell.
You know what? I can't recall his name. I think it's Ramirez, right? The last name, the guy from Bakersfield.
Fresno Ramirez.
Or Fresno, yeah.
Ramirez.
I think he had a fight out there, right?
With Orozco.
Yeah, Orozco.
I thought that fight from beginning to end was the fight of the year.
That's a great fight.
It was back and forth, even though they each had their moments, and I thought Ramirez came out, you know, on top, looking like a champ. But it was a really good fight, back and forth all day.
Okay.
That one, and then the Tyson Fury,
Tyson Fury.
Oh yeah,
man. You know,
those two, they're top
all
two.
Three of these fights that you guys have mentioned, I think, are fight of the year candidates for sure. And I think that you'd be hard pressed to find someone who would debate that they weren't amazing fights. Okay, Orlando.
We could have 4 different champions.
Orlando said Saucedo and Lenny Z.
Lenny Z and Saucedo.
Okay, yeah, and I would that I'll jump ahead here. That's my round of the year for sure.
Okay.
Or
I don't know, round 12.
It was like Saucedo and Lenny Z was if I had to pick for round of the year, that's who it was. But is that your fight of the year, Saucedo and Lenny Z?
The Garcia, well, yeah, round of the year, but for fight of the year, I think I'm gonna go with Dorticos and Garcia.
Okay. Yep. That's exactly. Steven jumped on and said the same thing.
Yeah.
Garcia.
I'm going Garcia Dorticos on that, man, for fight of the year. So.
Those are all excellent fights.
Hey, I will say honorable mention to Soto Cross and the Rooster for breaking for breaking record,
for breaking all the records.
Yeah, their last fight together.
So those are all excellent fights, but they're not the fight that I picked for fight of the year. As again, you know, I wanted to keep a little bit of mystery in there. I have to be different. I have to be unique. You know. So the fight I picked has everything. Those fights have a lot of stuff, but the fight I picked had everything. It had suspense. It had mystery.
Okay.
It had drama. Okay. Uncertainty. I even took notes on it. It had comedy, controversy. There are highs and lows. Stacks, you'll be familiar with this fight. It was Manny Thompson versus Leroy Jones on DAZN. Do you remember this fight?
No.
You don't remember this fight?
Man.
I can't believe that you do not remember Manny Thompson versus Leroy Jones.
Maybe that's when my DAZN went. No, that was ESPN Plus that went out for an hour.
It was ESPN Plus that went out for an hour.
When I wanted to watch Chris Arreola fight.
It was ESPN Plus that went out for an hour. This fight was a DAZN undercard fight against a police officer and a hairstylist.
Yes, now I remember. Yes,
a police officer and a
because
hairstylist.
They fucking knocked down the referee. And the referee got knocked down. Then it was a double knockdown, and the ref looked at both of them, and instead of counting, he told them, "Get up and fight." Yes, I remember that shit now.
Dude, the fight had everything. First of all, the ref was missing. The referee was
missing.
Can we look for that on YouTube right
Yes.
now?
I tried to find it.
It's not on.
Cynthia, you remember that fight?
Here, let me see if I can find it. I tried to find it, and if I can find any highlights from this, I will gladly share it with you guys. Let's see. Leroy Jones was the guy's name. And the funny thing is, I think when you type this into YouTube, the thing that pops up is a Beat the Count episode where I talked about it with Walter Sornoy.
That's the only mention.
Yes,
the only thing that came
I
up.
remember that fight, man.
Yeah. Dude, yeah. So you can't find it. I'm sure if you guys subscribe to DAZN, you can go back and find the card, I'm sure, on DAZN. But you can't see the highlights of the fight. So let me just explain some of the highs and lows of this. So this is a full-time police officer versus a barber. So
and the cop hadn't fought like in 2 years.
And the cop had retired for 2 years. He was undefeated and then like retired for 2 years and came back to fight again. And at the time that he did this, the referee was missing first. So
like the referee didn't show up, or
yeah, like he's just missing. Everyone's in the ring ready to go, but there's no referee.
Okay.
And so they couldn't find the referee. When they finally find the referee, they start the fight. It's a competitive fight. It goes back and forth. At one point, the referee gets knocked down. At one point, both men go down. They trade shots, and there's a double knockdown, but he doesn't count it as a knockdown. What else happened? Do you remember what else happened in that fight? Oh, the mouthpiece.
The mouthpiece. The corner sent the fighter out without the mouthpiece because he dropped it 4 times.
Oh,
they deducted a point from him.
Because
and then they told him, if you drop it again, we're gonna call the fight. So the corner sent him out to fight the last round without a mouthpiece.
Wow.
He's like, I was watching highlights of that.
Yeah, he goes, I'm gonna send you out without the mouthpiece.
Yeah, he keeps spitting it out. Or
he keeps spitting them out, and he didn't want the point deduction. So if you guys, it is by far theater. That fight, some fights are great fights. That fight was pure theater, and if you get a chance, go ahead and check it out. Ian G said it's on Daily Motion, so thanks, Ian G. You guys pull it up, and it's watch it from start to finish, including the announcements, because the referee is missing for a portion of it. And
so what do they? So they actually found the referee, or they just
find
said,
the referee?
They pick someone. Oh, okay.
Yeah, they find the referee.
What was he doing?
I don't know. They didn't say what he was doing, but he was missing at the start of the fight.
Okay.
The fight had everything. Had the double knockdown. It had everything.
Oh, if you can't tighten it, put that on there.
Man, all kinds of technical difficulties today, man. Last show of the year, and everything's breaking.
I blame you.
That's because we've been putting it to use this year.
That's true. It is.
Next year we buy new mics, new equipment.
That's my fight of the year, though. So if you guys have not had a chance to see that, please watch that fight, because I think you've probably seen all the other fights that were mentioned up here today.
Well, that brings up another topic. What was the craziest moment, I think, in boxing this year?
Besides that one that I just mentioned?
Yeah, well, that's your fight of the year, but...
I have, craziest moment, homeboy who just jumped out of the ring on live TV. And
that's what I was thinking, too, right?
You remember that? The dude who just left the ring on live TV?
Yeah, that was at Sam's Town.
It was a PBC fight, right?
Or was it Mayweather? It was a Mayweather card at Sam's Town.
Heavyweight, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and the bell rang. He walked in and then walked right out of the ring. Basically said, "You're gonna pay me my money," or something to that extent.
Holding some money hostage for sure.
Yeah, that was. I mean, that's not up there with Fan Man, but it's a good one.
Okay.
Fan Man's pretty good though.
Fan Man's all time.
Fan Man's pretty good.
All time.
Yeah, all time. It's number one.
Simpsons.
So we all got our fights out of the way. I went with Saucedo for round. Is there a round? Did you guys have a different round of the year? I went with Lenny Z and Saucedo. I think it's like the 4th round that it was. That was a great round. Great fight. It was a great fight all the way.
Yeah, that was a good fight.
Yeah, that was a great fight.
I might have to go with round 12 of Tyson Fury.
Nice.
Okay, that's understandable. Yeah, that's a great round.
Yeah, same for me right there. That was suspenseful, you know. It's like
a lot of suspense.
Round 9 of the Wilder Ortiz fight, when they should have stopped it.
when he's just blasting Wilder,
and then
and then they stopped twice. Actually,
then the doctor waits until the minute goes on between rounds to come in and take a look at Wilder for 10 damn minutes to make sure he's okay, and then allows him to fight again. Come on, man. The doctor should have took a look at him in between rounds and not after.
That's one of those things where you look at it and say, this dude got saved.
Yeah,
he got saved. Why? Because to set up
boxing.
bigger, it's boxing, and there's bigger fights after that.
Yeah,
he got saved.
Some good rounds.
But that was an epic fight. Holy smokes! That's like, I mean, for Ortiz, you got to say, man, that's the one that got away from him.
It is definitely the one that got away. Okay, knockout of the year. What do you guys think?
I got Povetkin Price.
Okay, that's a great knockout. Yeah, Povetkin Price.
Povetkin Price, man. That for me right there. Man, that he knocked him out, and he was just full of blood when he got up. That was a crazy knockout.
Here, let me see if I can pull it up for the viewers here.
Yeah,
I'm sure you guys have seen Povetkin Price knockout, but I'll pull it up anyway because it's great.
Yeah, that's my knockout of the year.
There it is. There it is right there. Let's pull it up.
See if
Povetkin versus Price, the knockout. This is like a full 2-minute, 30-second highlight video of Povetkin versus Price. How do I just jump to the knockout?
Go to the bottom of the box and forward it.
I know how to actually do it. Ooh. He was really angry about that knockdown. Did you see? Slam the gloves on the ground.
Man, he had some energy.
Oh, he did.
He was still there.
It was a competitive fight.
Yeah.
He won some rounds and stuff like that in that fight. Povetkin versus.
Didn't Povetkin get popped for PEDs a couple times also?
Yes, twice.
In his career? Yeah.
Twight.
That's why Teddy stopped training him.
Oh, dude, let me back it up because he's already in trouble here. Let's go right here. Okay, here it comes. Here it comes. Get your cameras ready. You remember that in the Rocky? No, you guys don't know the Rocky reference? Jeez.
Oh, what happened there? He just dropped his hands?
Well, he got hit with one shot that made him...
He got hit with the right? And
yeah, he got hit with the shot that made him drop his hands, so he was stunned.
Ooh.
And then he took that second shot.
So it looks like that right cut him, and then that left just busted his mouth open, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. Good for Povetkin.
Yeah.
Kind of tired of seeing him get beat up all the time.
Here, look, there it is.
Oh.
Boom, perfect. Shot. So that's a good one.
Them heavyweights hit hard.
All right. What else do we got? Do you have a knockout of the year?
Yeah, I have to refer to my notes here, but
refer to your notes.
It was Naoya Inoue.
Okay, I know exactly what you're talking about.
And Juan Carlos Pagano.
Yeah, let's pull it up.
It was just clinical, right?
Here it is, right here.
It was like a Golovkin jab and then the quick right hand.
This is I'm not surprised that this one made the list at all. I mean, we could watch the whole fight.
The fight was a minute long.
Yeah, I was gonna say we could watch the whole fight if we wanted to.
But to see a guy, I don't know, he's like 114 pounds and just one jab and a right. Like,
oh yeah, this is
put him out.
This is
first round.
A textbook knockout here, right?
And I could say this guy is fighter of the year. Like this guy is maybe pound for pound number one.
But this is an excellent knockout as well. Yeah, the whole fight is basically on the TV. If those of you who are listening to the audio, you're missing out. You know, if you're just listening to this on iTunes, jump on YouTube and check it out because we're playing the highlights back. Exactly. That's why we're all distracted and quiet right now because we're watching Inoue about to
do his thing.
Boom, boom,
boom, boom. Perfect. That one too is great. Yeah, a great one too. What do you think, Coach? Do you have a pick for knockout of the year?
Yeah, Teofimo's last fight.
Man,
he had
the Heisman.
He had the guy's leg twitching.
Yeah. Oh man.
There's that one, and then there's Eubanks has like a cousin or something. I don't know. I seen it on Instagram.
Eubanks cousin.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The guy they put in there with him was just some Uber driver, but
Uber
I mean, we all like to see it, right?
Yeah, but I thought he killed the guy with one punch, but the Teofimo one was pretty nasty.
Mason Bernard, here we go. This is it. What are they showing the whole fight?
Well, this was like a 2-minute fight too, right?
And the guy's surprisingly the guy's record was pretty good too.
Right? Yeah, Mason Bernard's a decent fighter.
Who's Steven said did we watch his brother on ESPN Plus this morning? Whose brother are you referring to? Teofimo? I did not.
Inui's brother.
No.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say
Inui's brother.
I thought he was talking about Teofimo Lopez
No.
at first. I was like, what? Jeez.
Was that how fast?
Earlier in here than I thought. I asked Teofimo Lopez when we
Just
were
a
at
little
Boxing
bit.
Expo
Boom.
if he plans
There you
these.
go.
And he told me he plans every touchdown dance that he does in the ring.
You know what it was about this knockout?
It was
That,
like a delayed knockout.
No, the thing about this knockdown was it reminded me of Rocky IV when Apollo died, and it's exactly what it looked like. He went face down, leg twitching. You know.
All right.
Fortnite.
My pick for knockout of the year,
That kid's fun to watch.
Michael Dutchover.
Michael Dutchover, yeah.
Oh man, you were at that. That was a good one.
Yeah.
I watched that over and over again.
Michael
Such a good.
Dutchover.
Yeah, that was a great one.
Let me type in knockout. Michael Dutchover is my pick for knockout of the year. This
Could
is
be
a
prospect. Of
Tremendous
Dutch over, if
knockout.
you're listening, brother.
yeah,
Sean's knockout of
what's
the
up?
year.
That one was
I'm giving you
nasty.
knockout of the year, bro, because that is a. Oh, hey, check it out. My interview pops up.
There you go.
When you type in,
Nice.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
share
social
that. Look
media
at there's
famous,
my
brother.
interview right there. Yeah, I know. So
He had his
I'm like
dad hold
famous.
the, yeah, you give
Yeah.
his dad camera credits.
I did. No, that was Coach Jerry.
Oh, was it Coach
That
Jerry?
was Coach Jerry. Yeah, it was Ruben's dad who I had to give camera credits to. Where is that knockout? Was that March? I thought that was in July. No, that knockout was in July.
Right there, July 20th, 2018.
Where? Oh, where?
On the top, bro.
This one? Oh yeah. You're right. Sorry.
I think
But-
Ruben Torres had a sweet knockout that same card, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
I
this
gotta
one's
go with
good.
Michael's knockout because this thing.
Oh.
Good night.
It's like lights out instantly.
Yeah,
man.
dude. That's my knockout of the year. If you
He
guys
like
didn't
hit
see
the
him-
switch right there.
If you guys don't check out Thompson Boxing on Facebook, they live stream all these events. Michael Dutchover is a regular headliner for Thompson Boxing, and this knockout performance that he had, Michael's a young, undefeated prospect. It's now recommending Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I think I
Interesting.
watched that earlier. My bad.
That's fine. But yeah, so I think that's my knockout of the year.
Fair enough.
That's fair.
Fair enough.
All
Yeah, those
very
are
good
good.
knockouts, man.
Yeah,
are
those
nice.
are all
you
great.
know, last week, Dominic Brazil had a pretty good knockout,
Dominic
too,
Brazil
man.
did have a good knockout last week.
Yeah, honorable mention there to Dominic Brazil.
Yeah.
Put that guy into the ropes, man, face first.
And
it was a good
Steve
knockout.
McCowan said he's got Wilder's KO over Ortiz, which was, it's pretty good.
That was up there. I was thinking about that one just because it was important the way he came back to win the fight. Or he kind of came back. They helped him out a little bit.
But no, it was pretty good.
That was a great fight, too, though.
It was a great fight for
Yeah,
sure.
That was a
Yeah.
great fight.
Great fight for sure.
That had a little controversy, too. So, I mean, that could have been a fight of the year, I think.
Yeah.
What about female fighter of the year?
Okay, I hadn't considered that, but I have one.
Let's give a shout out to the ladies.
Yeah. Do you want me to? Should I go first?
Amanda
Go for
Nunes.
it.
Yeah, oh my God.
I'm going Katie Taylor.
Oh, damn it.
I'm going Katie Taylor. Why is that where
no,
you're
that's
going?
what I was going to go.
Okay,
Katie,
yeah.
Taylor, Katie Taylor, man.
Katie Taylor, man. She's like, I think.
She's on another level.
She's where it's at in the women's division right now. She's so entertaining to watch. They're super fun fights. I feel like she can hold a crowd really well. And I think it's hard to not pick Brackhouse for what she accomplished this year. You know what I mean? A lot of people will probably come on and say,
but her
no,
Cinco de Mayo fight was sort of,
yeah, so I can see
underwhelming.
if somebody wants to jump on and say, hey, it's actually got to be
That's when she
Brackhouse.
fought.
I get it, but Katie
Reese,
Taylor,
Callie Reese, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And I think Callie Reese could have.
She
took
might
that
have won
decision.
that
I
fight.
think she won that
She
fight,
might have won
man.
that fight, but respect to Cecilia because
Yeah.
all-time legend.
tremendous. Yeah, no,
All-time legend.
it's great that everything that she's accomplished, but I've got to go with Katie. Orlando says Ryan Garcia.
Nice. Who said that? Nice.
Honorable
Red-
mention, Ryan Garcia. Congratulations.
Oh man, that's cold. That's cold.
King Rye,
Yeah.
Queen
I
Rye.
don't know.
Oh man.
Well,
Well, anybody else?
I
Did you
got
have
no-
someone else?
I got no comment there, man.
No, I love Ryan. Come on.
Yeah, he's-
can't hate the guy.
He's a little suspect sometimes, though, but.
I know. He's never going to sleep Gervonta, right? So,
No.
No.
Steve McCowan says that she has double the talent of any female fighter right now.
Katie?
He's
Fair
referring to Katie. Yeah, he said he.
Man,
could-
she hits like a truck, though. When she's throwing her hooks, holy crap.
Hmm.
She doesn't have a lot of knockouts though.
She looks like she hits hard.
Yeah.
Podcast of the year. I'm giving to Beat the Count.
Sweet, thank you.
That's a UD right there.
So you guys won that. You guys deserve it. You had this guest that came on a few times. I think his name was Stax.
Wait. Montero unboxing? No.
The best part was the story of how Stax got his name, though.
The story of Stax's legendary name.
Yeah, walking into the barbershop with $17,000 in cash.
Yeah.
He had to do the short version of it just now so that everybody could hear how he got the name too.
Exactly.
I pick Michaela Mayer for Female Fighter of the Year.
Okay.
She
fought a lot.
Yeah, she fought a lot. She
stayed very
busy.
active.
I think she's kind of not carrying the torch, but is somebody that will carry the torch in the next couple of years. And I guess she's supposed to fight Katie Taylor eventually, right? I'm not sure they're in the same weight class. I think they're a little off one or two, maybe.
That's true, but I think the women to make big fights sometimes have to still jump around a little bit, just because the competition in each division isn't so clear.
Well, look at Clarissa dropping down. She dropped down to 160 from 168 to 160.
Yeah,
and
Clarissa
she's
dropped
even
down.
Thinking of dropping down some more if Breakus moves up,
And Clarissa was an example of a true independent this year. She was jumping all over networks and stuff like that. Clarissa was all over the place, dude. She was like, I'm on Showtime, I'm
HBO, DAZN.
HBO, yeah, I'll fight for anybody. Like, I think that's great. That's like a great example.
She fought 360 on 360.
Tom Loeffler,
Tom Loeffler,
she fought for Tom Loeffler. So, I mean, all of these, I actually think all of these are examples.
Yeah.
I think it's great that there are so many people who you could pick, you know what I mean, for Fighter of the Year as a female. Because there's just a lot of good examples of women boxers this year.
Well, I think Michaela's got she's got the amateur pedigree. She's got the look for sure. She's a good-looking lady, and she's got the skill, and she's with Top Rank. So I think she's got a bright future.
So. Very much so.
But that brings up the next one. Did we do best promoter of the year? Or?
We did not. We did not do promoter of the year.
Fishnets? No, just kidding.
You're not going with him this year.
I don't know.
How do we cocaine?
Dude, is that what? You know what? I don't want to talk bad about Oscar. Oscar is childhood hero of mine, right? I love boxing. He's
sure.
We all grew up watching him, but he was the biggest star in boxing. And is it not obvious that he's on drugs? I mean, is it bad for me to say? I mean, we're at a boxing podcast. I don't want to
let's
make
say
enemies are here.
But
more
power to him, right?
But I mean, I don't know. I think he's always on the cusp of doing some great things, and
I don't give a shit.
his company's is making some moves. I mean, he's got a company to run. I only wish the best for him. A couple times I've seen him on some interviews, and it's just it just seems like his head's not in the right place sometimes.
He handed the reins of the Golden Boy president over to Eric Gomez. Eric Gomez runs the day-to-day, and they have Roberto running doing the matchmaking. I think Oscar is just kind of the name behind Golden Boy right now.
Yeah.
As far as the promotion company goes, they got a good team over there.
They do have a good team, and he's lucky that he has those people around him, and those people have been around him for quite a while now. The thing that worries me is that when he was in the same situation before, he had Richard Schaefer.
Yeah.
And what happened?
Schaefer took his fighters.
Fucked him over.
And this is boxing. I know Gomez has been like a lifetime friend of Oscar's, right? He's been like a childhood friend of his. So we wouldn't expect them to screw him over. But if you take your eyes off the ball for 1 second in boxing with a multi-million-dollar company, you drop the ball, you could screw it all up. So I don't know. I just worry about it, man.
It's cutthroat. It's dog eat dog, man.
Yeah.
But
as a fan, I'm not saying I'm not trying to criticize him. I'm saying I have a concern for Oscar. His company is based in LA. I worry about him a little bit.
Yeah. No, exactly.
Yeah. And I think we all do, kind of.
We want to see it succeed, man. I mean, boxing right now, LA is the fight hub. It's the fight capital of the world right now, man.
Yeah.
And you want I know me as a local. I want to see these Southern California companies succeed. I want to see these young fighters, not just from LA, but a lot of these young fighters migrate to LA, man. You get Dutch over, you get Villa, you get kids from Northern California, from Texas, kids from Philly. You get them from all over the world that migrate here to to California, man.
Yeah, all over the world.
And they come out here to LA because they know this is where they're going to get the best training at. So you want to see these kids succeed. You want to see these local promotion companies get to the top.
Thompson's sort of a unsung hero in this industry, right?
He's in the running for promoter just with Danny. What he's done
just
with
Danny, yeah.
And a lot of his fighters, man, they cross promotional lines all the time. You had Isaac Zarate that went and fought. He went and fought against I want to say Cano in Vegas. The night before the Canelo Triple G fight, and he came away with the victory. So then he ended up going and fighting. Isaac Zarate ended up getting a fight on the Canelo card. So they took him back to fight another Golden Boy fighter. So he's making moves. These guys fight on main event cards. They fight on Showtime cards. They fight here. They fight there. Not necessarily just in Ontario. When they get the call to go, they had Danny sign with DAZN, a split promotional with DAZN. So these guys come up, and they get the opportunity to
well, I think
show their talent.
With that being said, it's obvious that the promotional company of the year is TMT.
This dude.
And why is that?
I'm just kidding. No way. They've got to be at the bottom of the list. I go with Eddie Hearn
with Matchroom, right?
Yeah,
Matchroom. It's got to be Matchroom.
I think they put the whole boxing world not up on its head, but lots of new money coming into boxing. They changed the whole spectrum of the viewership. I
think that's where I'm. So Orlando jumped on and said Uncle Bob, and I appreciate that. Bob Arum did a bunch. He made a lot of good moves. He had a lot of fights. Like Bud Crawford's fight was, I think, one of the highest rated of the year non-pay-per-view type fights. So he did a bunch. I can see that, but I think it's hard to look at what Matchroom and DAZN have done and say that they're not the promoter of the year, in the sense that when you go into 2019, understand that the way that you watch boxing will have changed because of Matchroom and because of DAZN. It's already happening. Like you were saying with Roy Jones, for instance.
Yeah.
Now we're going to have to buy UFC Fight Pass to watch Roy Jones. Bob Arum followed suit with ESPN, but Matchroom was first, right? Matchroom came first and said, hey, we're going to do this deal with DAZN. Nobody had ever even heard of DAZN, right? I didn't even know who DAZN was, and now half the biggest fights that I watch are on DAZN, and I'm watching Canelo, right? They make a deal with Canelo that's a $365 million deal. I think that it's really hard not to say Matchroom is where it's at this year, and I agree with you, Coach, that they completely changed the landscape of boxing, and the way that we watch boxing going forward is completely different.
Well, not only that, but they're from they're on the other side of the globe, kind of. So they're putting fighters together that don't normally or haven't normally been put together, I think.
Yeah.
Well, I think they're gonna have a lot of European fighters against American fighters.
Yeah,
exactly. I want to see that. Everybody wants to see that because there's so many good fighters that we haven't been, unless you look for them. We
haven't been exposed to.
Yeah, we haven't been seeing them. So that's something that's exciting. That's what puts them on top, I think.
I agree. Matchroom and DAZN, they've done an excellent job.
Hey, but I do gotta say with Uncle Bob and Bud Crawford, I mean, time and time again, Bob Arum has proven that this dude can make champions, man.
The Bob father.
Not just that, but like
time and time again.
Like you look at him, and he's not falling behind. You notice that? Like
he's getting younger. I think
you look at other people, and you're kind of like, oh, okay,
like a vampire.
Yeah, like Golden Boy's falling behind right now. You can look at PBC and say, oh, PBC's got some work to do, and they're kind of trying to make up for it with these deals with Fox and some of these other networks. Bob Arum said, oh, okay, you guys are doing 40-something shows on DAZN. I'm going to go do 50-something shows with ESPN, right? I'm going to make a 50-something deal with ESPN.
Time will tell, which one's going to work out.
And then to have a
Bob's right there, dude.
Fight right after the Heisman Trophy. How many viewers are watching the Heisman Trophy, and then every commercial's stay tuned for Top Rank Boxing, Yeah. So you have all these millions of viewers watching the fight.
It's a well-oiled machine.
If it wasn't for the huge DAZN deal, then I'd say Top Rank.
Yeah, but DAZN.
Well, here, Steven, you said ESPN Plus is just as big a move, if not bigger than DAZN. I agree, but I think that all of it, the spark, the foundation of the way that we watch boxing today is because of Matchroom and because of DAZN. Not meaning it started it off. And I'm not saying that Bob Arum followed suit necessarily. He could have been in negotiations to do that forever. But the truth is DAZN got it first, and they got Canelo. and he's the biggest star. And they have Anthony Joshua.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like they
the two
came out
biggest
on
global
top.
stars.
Yeah, they have the two biggest global stars, and they changed the way that we're watching boxing today. So I think that I have to give it to DAZN for that reason.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, you drop and like you said, with Joshua and Canelo, man, you can drop Canelo off in the middle of LA, and everybody knows who this man is. You drop Bud Crawford off in the middle of LA, and he's just another guy walking down the street, man.
Yeah, that's true.
So I mean,
he's excellent though.
You have to drop off in Omaha.
Yeah, in Omaha. In Omaha. Yeah, we actually went to. Do you remember? We went to one of these fights in Indio, and one of his stablemates was on the card, and Womack was there.
Yeah,
Womack was there,
yeah.
And they announced him as from the hometown of Terrence Crawford. I was like, that sucks, dude.
Yeah.
Don't announce him like that from the hometown of Terrence Crawford.
I don't know, but
That's
Crawford
crazy.
has a chance to become, I don't know, Floyd-esque, I would say.
no.
No. Okay. Why?
Wow.
No.
Tell us what you really think.
No,
Jax.
no, man. No, here's the thing, man. Floyd sold himself. This guy's not. He's not anywhere near charismatic as Floyd. Doesn't interact with the fans like Floyd. He's not making moves. He's not social media savvy the way Floyd is. People have to understand here in the United States, man, boxing's below everything else. It's below the NBA, below the MLB, NFL, NBA, even fucking hockey and NASCAR is bigger.
What about
than
MLS?
boxing.
No,
MLS.
I got it. No, it's not true, though.
It is true, man. It is true. And
The ratings don't say so.
There's hardcore fans, and that's about it. I feel.
Yeah, that's
I feel,
it. There's a few hardcore fans, and most of the people that watch it are sold it. You know, there's not 4.5 million diehard boxing fans. So when they sold that Mayweather Pacquiao fight, when all of us knew it was going to be a bullshit fight, the people that really watch boxing knew it was going to be a bullshit fight.
and that's what killed it even more too.
But yet it sold 4.5 million pay-per-views because they knew how to sell it, man, to the quote unquote casuals, to the people that aren't used to watching it. Where in England you got darts and what else, man? Soccer. So
Bowling.
You know,
Darts.
darts and soccer. You know, in the UK. So of course they're watching boxing.
And
man.
drinking. It's a competitive
In London, man. After those Olympics in London, boxing blew up over there. Eddie Hearn did what he had to do. You know, with matchroom boxing, and it's been blowing up since the London Olympics. And the United States just doesn't. They don't care about big fights, man. They have to have somebody that's a big mouth like Bronner out there. You know, somebody that's really charismatic, somebody that's selling themselves on social media and whatnot before we get that type of star. Because even with Ward, you had the biggest fight a couple years ago possibly that could have ever been made between Kovalev and Ward, and the T-Mobile wasn't even halfway sold out, man. They had to move the second fight to the Mandalay Bay, and that still didn't sell out.
Yeah.
And the Mandalay Bay's half the size of the T-Mobile Arena, and they still had, they couldn't even sell tickets to that fight. You know, so until the fan base in the United States starts getting behind fighters, I don't see Crawford. I don't see Crawford on that level as Floyd, man. Nowhere near it. I mean, the only place he's selling out is Omaha.
Yeah,
you know?
he's fights exclusively out of there. It seems like.
Yeah. He fought Jeff Horn at the MGM. It was packed, but most of those fans were Jeff Horn fans. That's you get somebody from Australia or from the UK and they're fighting. You know, even when Leo fought Frampton, you know, it was all Frampton fans in there, man. All fans from the UK.
The ratings don't lie, though. The ratings don't lie.
No, well, I mean, there's a difference between viewership and, you know, especially when it's on big ESPN when you're not streaming it, than the live gates.
But like
some of these live gates.
Let's take Loma's last fight, for example, right? Loma's last fight, and we can look it up. It beat every single NBA game on that night, except for the Warriors and the Bucks.
Didn't Jose Ramirez did the same thing, you know? And
that's what I'm saying.
That has to do.
I don't think you're giving boxing enough credit.
That has to do with ESPN. That has to do a lot to do with what channel, what network it's on as well. I guarantee you, if they were showing that on Bounce TV, those ratings wouldn't be happening.
Yeah,
you know,
but,
I'm not taking anything away from boxing. I'm a boxing fan. It's my number one sport, man. That's what I love. But I'm to me, that's what I see. It has a lot to do with the network that it's on. ESPN. Everybody knows ESPN. Everybody around the world knows what the hell ESPN is. You don't have to be a boxing fan to know what ESPN is. And if it's your channel stuck on it, that's what you're going to watch. You're going to watch boxing because that's the next thing that's coming on TV, especially when you have a fight starting after the Heisman Trophy Awards or something else like that. They're just, hey, why change it? Let's just see what the hell this is about.
Well, I think a good question to ask is, you know, how we had all these deals with all these apps, and I think it's a record how many fights are going to be coming up in the next year. Is that because of demand, or is that because the promotional companies are trying to build up the fan base? You know, I think they're trying to build up the fan base. I don't think there's a huge demand for 76 or however many fights, you know, a fight a weekend, but you know, promoters got they have money vested in there, so they have to get their fights out. Well, but I don't know that it's from demand. You know, so I agree with Stacks on the boxing.
Yeah, and we can always agree to disagree, but I actually do think it's from the demand, because if there wasn't any demand, why would ESPN do it?
Yeah, that's true.
I think
sometimes you gotta sell commercials.
Yeah, sometimes you do have to sell.
Well, I know with DAZN, you know, like I had this conversation with somebody the other day, man, about DAZN, and people were talking shit. They were saying like, oh, Canelo didn't get the numbers he would have if it would have been a pay-per-view or this or that, you know. And they're not really selling. They're not doing this. They're not doing that. But you got to understand right now, okay, DAZN has soccer. DAZN has Combates America, which is like a minor league UFC. They're MMA out here in California and Mexico. They have Bellator. Then they have boxing. They just signed this $300 million contract with with Major League Baseball, right? So if they get this viewership worldwide, right, the only people that they're paying are their boxers, are the people that they've signed. They're not paying Bellator a damn thing. They're not paying MLB. MLB's paying them, you know. So all this, plus the advertisement, plus the marketing, plus the gates of these fights, it's going to be a moneymaker. It's going to be a moneymaker. If it wasn't a moneymaker, we wouldn't be watching it. You know, we wouldn't have this going on. And it's more to boxing. Like I said, there's more to boxing. I said it at the beginning of the show. That's why the UFC is bringing boxing in, because they have to expand that crowd from just an MMA. You know, these guys,
they got to survive.
Yeah, exactly. They got to survive. So you're going to have more. That's why DAZN has more. That's why ESPN Plus has more. Eventually, UFC Fight Pass, they're going to... My thoughts on it is, with this merger that this television merger that they already have with ESPN, something's going to come up, and this UFC Fight Pass is going to end up part of ESPN Plus.
Can I make a bold prediction here?
Go for it.
10 years from now, UFC is going to be a boxing company.
They've already said they want to be. Yeah. So
I think they are now.
UFC, the whole Octagon thing, it came, and it's about to go.
No way.
No way.
No way. UFC's awesome.
It'll always be around.
MMA's badass.
It's always going to be around, but look, boxing.
It's not a trend. It's not a trend. There's no way it's a trend.
If we look at the ratings, though, right?
Yeah, but ratings go up and down for every sport. Like, they have their highs and lows. I think it's here to stay for
it's here to
time.
stay, but primarily UFC is going to be a boxing company.
I think they're gonna have their foot or their hand in boxing.
They'll definitely. They'll definitely participate.
You
in
have
boxing,
to
for sure.
And I think the McGregor Mayweather fight was a small taste of, I think, what we're gonna see more of, which is crossover with different stars.
We were actually saying that women cross over a lot now.
Oh yeah, because
like,
they're looking for opportunities, you know.
Yeah, so women cross over a lot.
Well, especially in MMA, because there's more money in the MMA than there is in boxing for some of these fighters. You know,
the
Serrano sisters have crossed over. I was telling them the WBC super flyweight champion, Kenya Enriquez, she's about to make her her debut in MMA with Combates.
I never heard that.
Yeah. So there's a few. There's a few that have done it. I think Heather Hardy has done it as well.
Heather Hardy's done it a bunch.
Dude, she got kicked in the face so hard her last MMA fight, and she went right back to boxing. She was close for my female fighter of the year just because she's a badass. No, she
had some good fights this year.
She's kind of, I think she's like might be 35 or maybe a little bit older, but I mean that's one tough lady. And
that's somebody too that you can say is, you know, really changed their life and come from nothing to something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
yeah, that's actually story of the year. When we were talking about story of the year, and we were saying Heather could be in there for sure.
Homeless and living out in the streets, and
Heather could be in there for sure.
Yeah, her story is something else.
She should have a movie. I'm pretty sure she'll have a movie made of her. which would be awesome.
Yeah, it'd be a good movie.
A couple things. So Steven said that boxing has a good chance if it quits shooting itself in the foot with all the bad decisions and horrid announcers.
That's boxing. That's boxing.
You know what? Talking about horrid announcers, there was one the other night, man. I was watching this streaming shit on Facebook.
Oh, man.
These guys, man, they were fine until they had this
Was it All-Star Boxing?
Yeah, All-Star Boxing, right? They had this white guy come up named
I heard that too.
Fitzgerald something or other.
I was about to say I was going to put myself in the running for commentator of the year.
I turned the sound off.
You know, you turn the sound off
Yeah,
when I came on.
yeah, once he came on, I muted it. Just read the comments.
Haters. I got the haters out today. If you guys haven't checked it out, I got my first taste. Yeah. My first taste of the commentary table on All-Star Boxing. You see on Facebook their card on December 23rd. I did the main event and one other card, I think.
No, you did the co-main event.
The co-main. I did
and
the
then
co-main.
they kicked you out before
and
the
then
main.
They kicked me off.
Yeah. No, he did a good job, man. He did a good job.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I told him we could do that, man. I was telling him after that, man. I was like, man, we could do that, man. We can announce better than these guys, man. Let's take their job. Let's like undercut them and tell them we'll do it and not get paid.
We should just live stream fights and just commentate, alternate commentary.
You assume they get paid for that?
Well, I don't know.
Why not?
I don't know if they do.
Well, here's the thing. I think
I'll do it for nachos.
I think some of these promoters are looking at, when they get commentators, they're looking at somebody who maybe speaks well or sounds good over a microphone, but they're forgetting they need a boxing expert. You know, I listen to some of these guys. And
what are you trying to say, Coach?
No, not you.
No, exactly. No,
they don't know shit about boxing.
There you go. They don't know shit about boxing.
Exactly.
I'd rather hear somebody who's like, you know, you guys live boxing 24/7, so I'd rather hear your opinion than some of these guys are just come in on the weekend for the fight. You know.
Yeah. Well,
other than that, they don't pay attention.
And you know, and the sad part about it, man, is some of these guys are fucking Hall of Fame boxers, man. Like Boom Boom Mancini is the fucking worst commentator ever. I'm sorry, man, but he is. DAZN I think it's with DAZN that he helps out, but it's like, come on, man, jeez, dude. These guys, they don't have a clue, man. Bring these HBO guys in or something.
Or me, I'm available if you need to reach out. Got my resume on All Stars website. No, I'm just kidding. Thanks for getting on there.
I'll endorse you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I always mute, but I met a few people who say they don't like boxing because the fighters are not wanting fights and they rip off judges. So
well, that's right.
That's what Steven is saying.
He was talking about. I mean, boxing. I don't want to say it's as big as it's ever been, but it's making some big moves this year. It made some huge moves. And it's keeping up with the times as far as the apps and
well, it's
all
the
that stuff.
First one to really move into that platform.
Yeah,
like, it's like ahead of its time. Really.
But man, some of these judges need to be straight up retired or sent out the pasture or whatever.
Well, you know, talking about commentators and judging, right? A little conversation I had the other day was with the Tony Harrison fight and Charlo.
That's
okay.
We got to talk about
when
that.
when you sit ringside, right? Without biased commentators in your ear watching the fight, it's a whole different fight than if you're watching it at home, listening. Wow, what a great punch from Charlo.
Listening to Jim Lampley.
What a great punch from Charlo. Oh, Charlo came back this. Charlo came back that. You know, I mean, these judges.
It definitely influences
your opinion.
Oh, yeah.
It influences your opinion, exactly. So when you're there live, you don't have the commentators in your ear and you're actually watching and you're seeing the shots. You know, Charlo missed a lot of those shots. Harrison, he connected. I'm not saying Harrison should have won. I could see a draw, but I wasn't there in person. I wasn't sitting ringside.
It's just as easy to miss shots live as it is to miss them on TV, though.
Exactly.
Like the idea that you could see it better if you're sitting there ringside. No, it depends on where they are
where
in the
you're
ring.
sitting. Exactly.
Yeah,
let me ask you guys a question, because I've watched fights from working the corner. You know, I've watched fights from. What do you think is the best vantage point to get the most accurate assessment on a fight? Is it being there live? Is it sitting ringside? Is it watching it on TV with the sound off? What is the best vantage point?
Ringside.
TV.
Not ringside.
Yeah, not ringside.
Not ringside.
People should get to watch it on TV.
If
not where the judges are sitting.
If you go live to a fight and you really want to watch a fight, you want to sit about 20 rows back and you want to sit elevated. So
that's right.
Probably about 10 rows up, about 20 rows back, and that's the perfect vantage point.
That's right.
StubHub Center.
You still only get to see it from one side of the ring, though. And that's why I'm saying the benefit of this is why I feel that judges should actually be allowed to have the value of a monitor. You know what I mean? Because
they don't
basically no.
Wow.
No, they don't. They don't have a monitor. They don't get the benefit of any of that stuff.
Well,
but
I
TV.
know there was
Steven backed me up. He said TV with the sound
There
off.
was talks of bringing in 5 judges. Okay, 3 judges ringside.
That way, a lot of people can get it wrong.
Three judges ringside.
More people to pay off.
Yeah, exactly. 3 judges ringside and 2 judges in the back watching it on a monitor. All of them with headphones and an earpiece so they could talk to each other in between rounds to see, So
I don't think you. Why do you need judges ringside?
Well, you know what? Here's my gripe.
Why can't they just watch on TV?
It's all a show.
Here's my gripe with the judges, and you got CompuBox, you got punch stats, right? You have all this stuff.
CompuBox,
right? You're counting the punches. You're supposedly, which ones land, which ones are jabs, which ones power punching, all that stuff. Why isn't that factored into the judging, then the scorecard at the end? It's only the judge's opinion on who won the round, and then the accumulation at the end. But shouldn't that be taken into account?
It's hard to say.
It's too much money to make.
You take away the human element of it, I guess, and it turns it more into...
You mean you remove the chance of screwing up, basically?
I mean, there's the A side and the B side.
It definitely doesn't remove the chance of screwing up, because just because you know who landed more punches doesn't mean you know who won the round. Yeah. In some cases you do, but in a lot of cases you don't, right? Like, this is the sort of the same argument that we had about Triple G and Canelo. Well, yeah, it's the jab argument, right? It's effectively saying, hey, just because he landed more punches in 8 out of the 12 rounds, which he did, right? Triple G did, right? Like, just because he lands more punches in most of the rounds doesn't mean that he won the round. That's effectively what your argument is. And I think that's right. I think that's right. It doesn't mean that you won the round just because you landed more punches. So getting the benefit of punch stats could help. In other ways, it could hurt,
Yeah.
I don't think it definitely doesn't. It definitely doesn't mean that you'll get rid of bad decisions.
Yeah. Well, this is for sure. Boxing won't change very much as far as judging goes next year.
But bad decisions.
Hopefully, you have good fights.
That's why we're here, right? Bad decision. We talk about it all day long.
Yeah, that's true. Something else I want to talk about with you guys. I saw this on Instagram, so let me share it with you guys here. I'll go to the web here. Saw this post on Instagram. It's from Crown Boxing, and I thought it was interesting, and it spawned the question for me, if I were to say for 2019, who is most likely to lose their O? Who's most likely to lose their O in 2019, looking at the group that we have up there?
Alberto Machado.
You think it's Alberto Machado?
Yeah.
Okay. Why is that?
I don't think he's a proven champion yet, and I think at 130 he gets in with somebody like a Burchelt, Mickey Roman, even a Francisco Vargas with Golden Boy, because he's a Golden Boy fighter.
Sure.
I think he gets outboxed. I know Carlos Morales gave him a hell of a fight. I mean,
yes, he did.
Morales went to him.
Yes, he did.
Lost to him in Puerto Rico. It was a hell of a fight. But I think, and then of course, you almost guaranteed that either Spencer or Mikey's is going. They got to fight each other. So
yeah,
you're guaranteed one of them is going to end up with a
could be a draw.
Could be a draw,
could be a draw.
You got to take the odds into consideration.
But I'm also saying most likely. So if you believe you would have to pick one of those two.
I'm going to stick with Machado.
Yeah, you're going to stick with. What do you guys think? Who's most likely to lose their O on this list?
I think Zurdo. Could lose his O next year. And
Zurdo said he's going up, right? 175. Yeah.
He's gonna get demolished.
He's gonna get wrecked.
I think Zurdo said he wants 175.
Were you the one you said that you seen Bivol and Zurdo go at it at
No, I never saw those two go at it. I seen Benavidez and Zurdo go at it. Man, I've seen at least 30 rounds, and Benavidez was beating the piss out of him.
I believe that.
Yeah, I heard when what's his name Bivol first got here that they were at a wild card, and it was him and Zurdo had went at it, and they stopped it like after the first round and said that no more sparring because Bivol had just put it on Zurdo.
Well, I just saw Zurdo right before his last fight with was it Hart, right?
Yeah.
He sparred Abel Sanchez, brought some guy in that was, I think he was like the next Triple G or something.
Probably Garcia.
Maybe he was, but he's lighter than Triple G. He looked like he was 154.
Oh yeah, then I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, and he was beating Zurdo like for 6 rounds, just beating him. Had him on the ropes, just beating him the whole time.
So you're going Zurdo?
Yeah, definitely.
You're like, everybody I see spar Zurdo.
No, I think Oscar Valdez also. As much as I like him, he's one of my favorite boxers, and it's a good move for him also training with
Eddie Reynoso.
Yeah, with Canelo's camp.
Yeah.
But I got to see how he does taking punches.
Okay.
How his jaw holds up.
What do you think? Who's most likely to lose their O on this list here?
I really hate to say it because it's one of my all-time favorites. I'd say top 5 pound for pound right now, but it's gonna be Mikey.
Oh,
it's gonna be Mikey.
Yeah, I can see that.
He's got to knock out Errol Spence.
I agree.
He's got to knock him out.
I don't think all that muscle he's gaining is gonna help him.
Have you seen the pictures?
Yeah, I've seen them.
Did they look all that impressive to you?
No. And,
That's what I thought too.
My favorite part of that picture
just him flexing
is that the towel's covering his stomach.
Right?
Yeah, so I'm like, what about the rest? You know, like
it's a work in progress.
Well, I think that's probably the most important part. His core. You know, he came in soft against the Lipinets, so. Oh, that guy's badass.
I saw a better meme, which is him next to a kangaroo that's flexing. Have you seen that one?
Yeah, I seen the one of him in the kangaroo.
Him and the kangaroo? Yeah, dude.
I think he bit off more than he could chew signing for that fight.
Those are all good.
You know, yeah, I mean, I think he can take it the distance, and I think he could objectively win that fight, but
I don't think he's ever been
back to the bad judging.
He's
right?
never been hit by somebody that big.
Yeah, and he could get knocked out,
that
right?
Good.
You know, but I think it would go to the distance. And,
Didn't Salido drop him?
I don't know.
I don't remember.
Somebody dropped him. I remember.
We'll see. He could shock.
It's true.
Shock
and I hope he does. I really do.
He could shock us. I mean, we'll see.
I mean, he'd be the all-time legend if he does that. All-time legend.
I think he's picking Spence at a good time, though.
That's what they were talking about when Pacquiao moved up. You know.
Yeah, no, it's
Pacquiao
true.
moved up to fight De La Hoya. You know, and nobody gave Pacquiao a chance. And
yeah, but Oscar
was
way past
drained,
his prime.
Past his prime. But before the fight, Oscar was what, like a 5-1 favorite or something?
Dude, he couldn't knock out Stevie Forbes, man. He went the distance with
Stevie
Forbes
true,
right before that. So.
But the betting odds, because I put money on Pacquiao on that fight, right? Because it was like literally 5-1.
There you go. And then what was it? The fight in Montreal. You know, between Duran and Sugar Ray Leonard. Duran moved up to fight Leonard. Nobody gave Duran a chance.
Yeah.
So.
But we'll see. That's one of those things that can make boxing great. That could be a great night for boxing.
Because I mean,
as long as it's a good fight, I
think
nobody loses.
Earl's really fought one big name with Brooks. Cal Brooks.
That's why I say he's fighting him at a good time.
Yeah, it's
because I don't think Spence has proven that much. He's a strong, fast kid.
Spence hasn't
bigger.
really fought anybody that tests him lately.
Yeah,
you know,
and he hasn't. He's a great fighter, but he's not becoming better and better and better.
He's not.
And with boxing, with these fighters, the great ones, they get better and better with each fight. And Mikey's getting better with each fight.
Who was Spence's last fight? Campos? Who was it? Was it Campos? Spence?
I don't remember.
Check Earl Spence's last fight. And how long ago was it? Because he's not fighting until March. Right? And this kid Campos is just some kid out of Mexico. You know that?
Yeah, and that only went, what, like... that was like a round? Yeah. I think it went one round. Yeah.
What?
Errol Spence Jr. So his last fight was in. Let's see if I can get the date here. So.
What was Ocampo?
June. He hasn't fought since June.
So it's going to be damn near a year.
8 months.
And that fight only lasted a round, right? So then before that, what was it? January against Lamont Peterson.
Yeah, but Lamont Peterson is he's somebody.
He's decent.
But you know what that means though? Conspiracy theory.
He's gonna have some ring. He's gonna have some ring rust.
Mexican meat maybe.
Who, Lamont?
No, they're both signed up for VADA.
Errol.
They're both signed up for VADA.
Oh.
They're both enrolled this time because all the shit talking already started because Mikey was up with Snack.
What if it's like for both of them? It's open season on Peds. They're like, let's do it. All
possible,
out,
right?
For both
it's
of them.
Possible.
Just to make it better.
I mean, we could get a trilogy, right? That'd be nice.
That would be nice.
Everyone gets paid off, paid out, I should say.
Yeah, not paid off, hopefully.
Yeah, no, not paid off. Well, the judges might get paid off.
Yeah. Well, hey, with that, the Spence Garcia fight happening, when's it happening? In
March.
March. Besides those guys, who else are you excited to see next year? Who do you think is going to do some big things? Personally, I'm excited to see what Usyk does.
Of course,
because he owns his weight division. He talked about moving up. If he moves up, I think he's got some of the best boxing skills for the big guys. So I'm excited to see what he can do. But what's your opinion on who you guys want to see and what you want to see next year?
What do you guys
That's
think?
a good question.
Fighter you got an eye on?
I think Munguia's going to clean house.
Oh, yeah.
I think Munguia's taking that 54 title from Harrison, that WBC belt from Harrison. Something's going to happen. Charlo's not going to get the immediate rematch just because of the ties that Zanfer has with the WBC, just because of that Mexican connection there. I'm just telling you, Munguia's going to end up cleaning house. He's going to get ranked by the WBC. He's going to end up a unified champion, and he can take Hurd out as well. I think he's strong enough to take Hurd out. Hurd's not as technical as the Charlos.
It's tough.
He's a tough fighter, but I think
it's a tough nut to crack.
I think Munguia cleans house, man. That's who I got my eye on this year.
Yeah, it's not just that he's not technical. I would say stylistically he's very different.
Yeah,
he fights battles of attrition. Charlos don't.
Hey, but that would make a great fight, though.
Munguia and
yeah.
Charlo.
It would, yeah.
No, Munguia and Hurd.
Oh, Hurd.
It's one of those
That'd
things
be
where
super war.
Yeah, because you've seen that Jaime Munguia can carry his power through all 12 rounds, and Jarrett Hurd is basically
and he's equally big too.
He's a big man, yeah.
You know,
but he's also
might actually be a little
very
bigger than
very
him.
Different stylistically than
the Charlo. Do you think Jaime will fight Charlo?
No.
Next year?
No.
I don't know who. I don't know what.
I don't know what Charlo's going to do.
Yeah, what is either Charlo going to do?
The ball's in Harrison's court now. You know, I mean, unless there is a clause that I haven't. You know, I mean, Charlo said there's an immediate rematch clause for within 4 months, but who knows? You know.
Yeah. But I agree. Looking at Usyk, because he's kind of out of cruiserweights now. You know what I mean? And we're at a place where his next move, barring that something happened like Andre Ward deciding to come out of retirement, is going to be to move up. So it'll be interesting to see how he can handle some heavyweights. I don't think he should jump straight in there with the likes of some of the biggest heavyweights in the world, the way that other people are suggesting. But yeah, I don't think your first heavyweight fight needs to be
a world title fight.
You know, you could fight a couple other guys first.
He might pull a Mikey. You never know.
Mikey, you can put him in with somebody like Dominic Brazil or something like that. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
He could, not take anything away from Dominic, but he's definitely he's more agile than Brazil.
Yeah,
way more. Agile.
I would say technically, he's probably more fundamentally sound than pretty much anybody in the heavyweight division.
Yeah, he dance circles around against Wilder.
I think the odds. I think the odds of him fighting were like, I think it was 5-1 that it would be Povetkin his first fight.
His first fight
would be Povetkin.
That's an interesting fight. I would love to see that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So I think Usyk is the one that I would watch. Orlando said, "Don't be surprised if that happens." I wouldn't be surprised if Ward and Usyk happens. I should say I would not be surprised by it.
But why would Ward come out of retirement?
Legacy. He doesn't have a cruiserweight under his belt, and it's one step closer to a heavyweight accomplishment.
Okay.
So I think that imagine you're Andre Ward, but you can also be Andre Ward and hold the undisputed world cruiserweight championship.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's a huge legacy fight. Legacy fight.
Okay.
I also think the reason is because I know that he has said in the past that he's always had heavyweight ambitions and still does.
Okay.
And he also clearly...
like Roy Jones, sort of.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Like Roy Jones. And he also clearly stays in shape. So he's not someone who in between, even in this 2-year absence, we're talking about someone who was sparring the members of the Contender earlier this year. Right, and a guy who's actively in the gym and in shape. So, he
fought on Creed too, also.
Yeah, and he just had a fight against Adonis Creed recently. So, so I think that it's something that he probably flirts with the idea of doing it already. It's just a matter of would he actually take it?
Okay.
Or not. Yeah.
I think when you're a boxer and you finish on top, it's hard for you to walk away.
Yeah, it's so hard.
Nobody's done that. Right?
Yeah, nobody does.
in the history of the sport.
It's just so alluring, just to say one more. I could do it. I'm the best ever.
And he
no
was
problem.
Great. He was great.
Yeah.
Let's not kid ourselves. He was fantastic.
Yeah. When you haven't been, and maybe that's something that he wants is that challenge too. I mean that. Obviously, boxers love the challenge, so
yeah,
I could see him coming out of retirement to do it.
Even earlier this
year,
most
boxers are known to do that.
Yeah, sure.
Even earlier this year, he was saying, while looking at Anthony Joshua and things like that he sees things that lead him to believe that if he was competing today, he could still win. And so
maybe, yeah.
I'd love to see them stand next to each other.
Hey, I would watch that fight. We watch that fight, right? Everyone would watch that fight.
I'd love to see what that looks like, though. Those two guys in the ring. Joshua would just dwarf him.
Steven pointed out that he was a heavyweight in Creed, and that's what I'm saying, man.
Okay,
that's what I'm saying. He was a heavyweight in Creed, going for that. He was the WBC heavyweight champion in Creed. Stunt man. Did you watch Creed? You're on your phone over here, man.
Yeah, Creed 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched it, man.
Did you like it?
Watched it the day it came out, man.
Nice. That's a real boxing fan right there.
Yeah, I did too.
I drug Cynthia's ass to the theater. Said, "Come, hey, would you want to go to dinner tonight? You want to go dinner in a movie? Yeah. What are we gonna watch? Creed?
Yeah.
Okay.
You knew that was what it was.
Was it good though? Did you like it? Did you like Creed 2? Yeah. All right. I thought it was good.
That's what I look forward to most in 2020.
She started crying.
You didn't watch it?
Who did? Oh, man. Who didn't cry in Creed 2?
I cried, man, when the baby couldn't hear. I was just like, oh, baby's deaf.
I actually thought.
Spoiler alert. No.
I actually thought Creed 1 towards the end when he was in the corner and he asked him I forget what he asked him, but he's like,
"What would you say to your dad?" Or
yeah. I thought that was pretty emotional.
He should have won the first fight.
Oh, the first round.
They should have given him the win. Yeah.
He got destroyed, sent to the hospital.
He deserved to win, though, man. It was a cheap shot, bro.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
What's that? Which one?
Creed 2, man. In the first fight with the Drago, the first Drago fight.
You got the DQ or what?
Yeah, they should have.
Hey man, talk about nostalgia. Even Drago's wife made an appearance in that movie,
right?
Brigitte Nielsen.
Yeah. It was.
It made me feel like 5 years old again when I was watching it.
I think it was probably to pay off some of Stallone's alimony he owes to her.
He's like, "Are we done yet? Here you go."
Steven said he gives Creed 2 a B-. So what's your favorite Rocky then? I'm curious. You watched it on Thanksgiving, so which one's your favorite out of all my? Because Coach, you said it was like 4, right?
4, yeah.
So that means Creed 2 is like right up your alley.
No, it was good.
It's basically a sequel to Rocky 4.
It was good. It wasn't original, but it was good. Just because if you're a boxing fan, if you're a Rocky fan, you're gonna love the movie no matter what.
That's what I said. If you like Rocky, then you'll like Creed 2.
You can't not like it. However,
you can't not like it.
I got out of the theater like 12:30 midnight, and then when I went home, I watched the Rocky 4 till like 2 in the morning.
Yeah,
so.
That's what I look forward to most in 2020.
Creed 3.
Thing? No,
that's the fight, right?
Yeah, Creed 3 is what I look forward to most.
All right, what fights are you looking forward to? What is your dream fight for this year?
Well, I definitely want to see Canelo fight Jacobs. I want to see that. I don't know. Oh, Wilder and AJ.
Wilder and AJ.
I mean, as much as I like Fury now in the mix, I do want to see him get a shot at AJ. But I just want all the shit talking to be put to rest and have Joshua and Wilder fight.
What about Loma and Mikey?
I don't think that's gonna happen.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't want it to happen. This
fantasy,
is your dream fight.
We're talking about fantasy. Yeah.
Loma and Mikey.
I'm thinking more of what's more possible to happen.
Gotcha.
I'd love to see Lomachenko and Pacquiao fight. That's what I want to see. And Mikey,
he's not interested.
Fight 2020.
Yeah. It's just he's expressed so much disinterest in that fight that I don't know if it'll happen.
And I would like to see Floyd Mayweather disappear. No,
I was gonna say you almost blew my mind when you started with I would like to see Floyd Mayweather. I was like, what? You're about to say you'd like to see him?
I'd actually like to see him fight somebody.
Doesn't he fight tomorrow?
Fight somebody that could beat him.
What's your dream fight, man?
Tomorrow, doesn't he?
I got a dream fight.
What's your dream fight, man?
What's your dream fight?
Sri Saket Sorarung Vizai versus Naoya Inoue.
You're the first person I've seen use his full name. Most people just go with Sorarung Vizai.
Yeah. I mean, I think Inoue would come up and wait for that, but
no,
he's
Sorarung Vizai would have to go up.
Is that Sorarung Vizai?
Yeah, Inui's already at 18, So Sorong Vasai would go up from 115 to 118 to fight.
That'd be a good fight.
That'd be a good fight, though, man.
That'd be a good fucking fight.
Yeah.
I'm down with that. What about you?
Mine?
At the StubHub.
Yeah.
At the StubHub.
Please.
The what is it? The Quality Health Dignity Center.
Oh yeah, that's right. They changed it.
again?
Yeah, they changed it.
No, my fight, of course, would have to be there, man, at the StubHub, and it would be a summer fight, man, between Valdez and Leo Santa Cruz in a unification
This
fight.
is very specific.
Nice.
Summer fight at StubHub Center.
That could happen,
man, and I want to see it, man. That would, and I think it could happen, man. I think that Bob would work with PBC to make it happen, man.
Who takes that fight?
Man, I see Leo getting dropped, but coming back and maybe outboxing it, maybe a draw to turn it into one of these, Vasquez Marquez type trilogy there at the StubHub. I could see it happening, man.
From the first bell, that would be
be a war.
That would be dope. Yeah.
Those guys
That's a
don't
good one.
stop throwing.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So yeah,
It's good matchmaking.
That's what I'd want to see,
I'm
man.
down with that.
Valdez and Santa Cruz, man, at the StubHub Center.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm there. If that one happens, I'm there.
Yeah, I'm going as a fan, and I'm getting drunk in the parking lot before.
We're joining you.
You do that even when you go not as a fan, right?
Exactly.
You get drunk at the parking lot before.
Yeah.
That's called pregame.
Yeah,
it's true with Steve Kim.
That's why you do it in the parking
Tom
lot, so that when you come in, it's okay.
Yeah, man, it's fine. I'm nice buzz on. Run into Orlando car. Hey, can I take a picture of you? He tells me, and can I buy you a beer? Go for it. You can buy me 2.
Whiskey and cigars, man.
Oh man,
I write better drunk.
it's a major.
I write better drunk.
It's true.
Yeah. Then the next day you read what you wrote, and you're like, what the hell?
It's not bad.
I'm pretty sure Stax has all his articles written in advance. Like when he sits at the table, it's basically all written, and he just inserts people's names.
It's true, bro. It's true. Yeah.
I was just kidding.
No, it's true.
He's got a template already.
It is. I lay everything down before I get to
and
the
then
fight, and I just fill it in, bro.
Insert the names.
It's true. No, you're absolutely right.
It just says on his thing, it says round blank, and then he plugs in the round. And then like he marks off referee decision. There's check boxes for decision versus
It's true.
That's called preparation. Man.
No, yeah, I lay it
And
down.
efficiency.
Yeah, basically it's like what I start doing is I write it out. Like say if it's you and Marco, right? December 31st, Fitzgerald takes on Trejo, Sweet Science Boxing Gym, that. In the past, Trejo was this and that, blah, 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 blah. And then at the end, it's just like, in the third round, Trejo hit him with this. Fitzgerald went down.
Boom.
Yeah. Referee Kim called the fight at so-and-so, and that's it. That's
I
all
just gave you guys all the
man.
writing tips. If you want to be a boxing writer, I just taught you how to do it right
You gotta
now.
lay down the meat of it and just fill in the blanks, man.
Fill in the
that
blanks.
easy.
You need a cool nickname.
That's how the
You can't be a
article.
boxing
Yeah,
writer
and you
without
have
a
to
nickname.
carry $17,000 into the barbershop one day.
There you go.
Hey, Coach, I got a question for you.
Yes.
What the fuck is Pakistan like?
Oh, it's a pretty scary country.
Okay.
No, I would say, have you guys ever played Call of Duty? Like when they were in, I think, the Middle East?
Sure, yeah.
It's like that.
It's just like that?
It looks like that, yeah.
It looks like that.
Just
okay.
not so many guns. I didn't see. Well, I saw a few guns.
Well, it was boxing related too, right?
Yeah, I was there for to see some factories that made equipment.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's a third world country. Isn't
that where Kanat Islam's from?
No, Kanat's from
Is he from Kazakhstan?
Kazakhstan. He's Chinese though, actually.
Chinese from
Yeah.
Kazakhstan.
Yeah.
Who's from Pakistan? Khan.
Yeah,
Amir Khan. Yeah.
Amir Khan's from Pakistan, right?
Yeah, I would say I'm not looking forward to going back, but I'm
Okay.
gonna go back. You know,
Dude.
that's where you get
business.
cheap
What if
labor.
the Taliban's
Cheap labor.
listening, dude? You're fucked.
Huh?
And just say you don't want to go back
Oh,
to
that's
Pakistan.
cool. I got Taliban friends over there.
Oh, okay.
I got Taliban friends.
Dude.
Good Taliban.
You know that FCC
Oh, my
is listening
goodness.
to this
Yeah,
right now,
dude,
bro.
FBI.
I basically have to.
Good
I have to-
there's
Son
good.
of a
Good hold
bitch.
on though. Good,
way to make it so
good-
that I have to edit
You know
whole
Trump's
pieces
the
of
president,
audio
right?
and stuff.
But there's good. There's
I'm cutting this whole segment starting with how is Pakistan is getting cut from what goes on iTunes and everything. The whole
but
thing.
check this out.
FCC
I'm just gonna sign us off right now.
There's good Taliban and then there's bad Taliban.
Oh my
At
god!
least that's what I was told. I didn't ask. Too
Is there
many-
good
I didn't-
hair? There's good heroin over there too. I heard.
I
On
didn't
that
ask
note,
too many
Happy New Year.
questions.
I can't. Yeah, I can't condone this on the show.
We went from boxing to the goddamn terrorism, the watch list.
This is why I don't
Idiots.
have a political podcast.
Back to boxing.
Okay.
Yeah, let's just wrap here so that I can cut all this out.
What's your dream fight, man? What's your dream fight? What's yours, Sean?
Well, I said Loma and Mikey. So, I mean, I would like to see Loma and Mikey mix it up, but I definitely think that Valdez and Santa Cruz would be dope. Like once you said that, I was like, I'm there. Yeah, like if they do that, that would be great. And then obviously my dream fight, which I've said this I think on every show to reinforce it for like the past 4 shows, is a Wilder and Fury rematch in England because I have the okay to vacation there, and so that we can go see that fight.
Very nice.
So if that one takes place, I'll be there in England. So that's what I want to happen more than anything else.
What happens in the rematch? Who wins?
I don't care. I get to go to England to watch.
If it's in England, Fury wins.
Yeah, right.
Well,
if Fury's all there.
I was gonna say, yeah, he has to make it out of the alive, but yeah, sure. But yeah, so that's my dream fight for that year.
All right, man. Okay. Well, it looks like we covered.
I think we covered our bases, man. We went through promoter, fighter. We went through female fighter, trainer. We did it all.
Fight of the year, knockout.
Yeah, we did it all.
Best announcer, worst announcer.
Yeah, and best commentator.
And you made both. You got best and worst.
Best commentator.
It's too best podcast. Beat the count.
Hey, did we do
best podcast?
Golden Stepping Stone? Or we did that earlier this year, right?
The golden.
What the hell's the Golden Stepping Stone?
Marco came up with an award earlier this year called the Golden Stepping Stone.
No,
who's that? Mason Menard?
The Stepping Stone of Stepping Stones.
Yeah,
right? Or Stepping Stone for Stepping Stones.
You give it to the guy who is the Stepping Stone of Stepping Stone fighters. And he found an example of this earlier in the year.
It's gonna end up Abner Maris.
Oh man! Is he getting handled by Durante? Is he getting handled?
Of course he is, dude. Did you watch the Johnny Gonzalez fight?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. If Gonzalez hit him that way, imagine what Javancha's going to do.
Top of the head.
Carl Frampton right there with him.
Oh, man. Frampton. Oh, yeah. Getting beat by Warrington.
That was a great fight.
A great fight,
I loved it. I loved it. Every minute of it. But, yeah, so I think we covered it, man. I think we're good.
Yeah, edit that Pakistan stuff.
I know.
You're gonna take that out.
There's gonna be a hard cut right in the middle of this. Hard cut right in the middle of this. Nobody gets this far into it except for the guys who are on the live chat anyway. No, I'm just kidding. I appreciate all of you for being here with us, including my guests and those of you on the chat. Orlando, Steven, who've been especially vocal, Ian, everybody else who's chimed in today. Appreciate you guys.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, we gotta give away that signed that autographed Teofimo Lopez glove.
We should do it closer to February. He fights again in February. Right. Yeah. So we do have an autographed Teofimo Lopez glove. We'll be doing a giveaway with that glove probably closer to his fight. So maybe a couple shows from now, like 2 shows from now, because he's gonna fight again in February.
Nice.
Yeah. So we'll do a giveaway on that.
Maybe
glove.
we'll get him on the show to give the glove away, bro.
I would love to have him on the show, but he lives in Las Vegas, right?
All right, man. He's always in LA. His doctor's out here.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Because he had
I know he had the hand problem.
Hand surgery, so his doctor's out here.
Oh yeah, if he's in LA, I'd love to have him on
road
the show.
trip.
Cool.
He can punch you in the stomach this time.
Oh no.
Wait, what's up with that? What happened there?
Now
that's a tradition.
We had Landeros get in the gym and
Landeros gave me a body
shots.
Yeah, let's do a most memorable podcast moment. Joseph Landeros gave me a few minutes worth of body shots. I was wearing the pad, of course.
Yeah.
And he's like, what, 117 pounds?
Yeah.
Yeah. Teofimo Lopez is my size. I don't think I could hang, to be honest. I'll try it. But
you might go viral, though.
You'd be at Harbor USC, bro.
Yeah, dude.
We'd do the podcast live from the hospital.
You'll be twitching that leg.
Live from Harbor UCLA.
Bullshit.
Stacks ain't going to take one of those
We are
punches.
in the ER right now.
Yeah, I know. Live from the ER where Chris just took a shot from Teofimo Lopez.
He'll do a backflip.
Hey man, Landeros, considering that I'm probably, I'm up towards 140. Those were some shots he was putting on me, dude. He wasn't kidding. His hands weren't wrapped.
No,
his hands weren't wrapped. He just had the gloves
if his
on.
hands were wrapped, even
oh my
even
god,
worse.
Yeah, his hands weren't wrapped. He was like literally in his Sunday best.
He's probably
he's like in his church clothes.
He's like in a suit, and I'm wearing a t-shirt and the body pad, and he was lighting me up.
Oh my god.
Oh man, it was that's on YouTube. If you guys haven't seen Joseph Landeros hit me with the body shots, then you should do that because he gave it to me pretty good. I'll take one. How about, can I just do one from Teofimo? See, this is the thing. They tricked me. They told me
Are you serious? You're going to do it?
They told me I was only taking one body shot from Joseph, and then when I got in the ring, it turned into a minute of body shots from Joseph Landeros. But I don't think I could do a minute of body shots from Teofimo.
That's a tradition.
No.
We got to start that. That's a tradition.
Yeah,
a tradition?
Yeah.
Let's get Dominic Brazil on here. No, I'm just
Bring it on.
And then
It's your body.
Yeah, go for it.
That's true.
Take a body shot.
You got it.
Man.
Body shots with Fitzgerald.
There you go. Not the fun kind of body shots, if you know what I'm saying.
There you go.
All right, guys. Happy New Year. And we'll see you next week.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. 2018. Done.
Woo.
Peace.
And the set falling apart.